Alright, welcome guys. Sorry, a little bit of a technical issues this morning, no big deal. But welcome. Doing a bit of King of the Hill action for Total War Warhammer 2. Definitely be jumping into some more Crusader Kings later today. I've been absolutely loving Crusader Kings. Very good stuff. And yeah, to start, we've got Happy Puppy versus Regina, so it should be a good time. Excuse me. Welcome, Jay Phoenix, Happy Puppy chilling here in the chat, Nexus, Postmortem, Golden Eagle, Storm Runner, thanks, appreciate it. I enjoy making the thumbnails. It is a part of the job that I do enjoy. Yes, I don't know why we're still chilling here. We can pop on back over here. Get a Hellstorm, kill 6,000 zombies in time. Maybe not. Could kill a few hundred at least. Appreciate it. Parkorilla? I don't know how you pronounce that. Can pistols kill 6,000 zombies in time? Well, it depends on if they have the ammo buffs or not. Only spell allowed is Nehek. No, we're starting No Nehek November early this year. This year, it's in fact all of October and November and December even. So basically, like the last quarter of the year is No Nehek. If you want to be cool. Regina was just switching her internet, so she'll be back shortly. With enough time, pistoliers can kill everything. That's true. With enough time, prayers, and faith, and gunpowder, you can do anything, really. Failing No Nehek November right away. That's okay. Only lose to higher tier skirmishers? Well, you say that. Depends on the situation, because they can actually out DPS some more expensive skirmishers. Like the Wood Elf, High Elf Cavalry, for example, they outrange you, but you will out DPS them. So if you can get close, just blast them. And like, Reavers are slower than Pistoliers too, so you can catch them. Single Soul Stealer September. Only one Soul Stealer per game tops. Wow, that's a challenge right there. I mean, Dark Elves are already in an interesting place, to say the least. But looks like we're going to be having some Tomb Kings versus High Elves. Should be a good time. Kitten's coming to say hello. Can't do anything about chameleons. That's true. Chameleons are a top tier skirmisher also. You say can't do anything. Again, with the prayers, anything is possible. You can just charge them and pray for the Hammer of Sigmar and win. Possible. Anything is possible with Sigmar. A Khajiit counselor. Needs something from me, apparently. Maybe I'll have to feed her in between rounds. No elves year. No elven factions allowed until third game comes out. I don't know. I mean, the Wood Elves are getting a whole DLC at some point in the near future, hopefully. So, Maybe after the Wood Elves DLC is all done, I can agree to that challenge. Maybe. Possibly. Lose to chill, guys. Norskin dogs, yeah. Again, though, you're discounting the prayers, because a nice Soulfire will help even that out. For the chill guys, and for the dogs, too. Anything's possible with prayers. You believe. Pistoliers win. There's Nehek and Dance Macabre, exactly. The thing is, with vampire counts, you don't even need Invocation of Nehek, really. Realistically, you can get away with using just passive healing in a lot of matchups. You have to be a little bit smarter. Can't take as much burst damage, but... Vampire Coast's a little tougher because you don't have the same passive healing, right? With Flaming Sword still, yes, but Soulfire. Occam's Mind Pistols, yeah, if only. The funny thing is that, like, Flaming Sword of Ruin also increases missile damage, as well as giving magic and fire on both missile and melee. And, yeah, it increases melee and missile damage by a little bit. So actually, like, casting it on Pistoliers and then shooting the chill guys, you'd get a ton of value. You could probably kill them pretty quickly that way. It would take a lot of damage on the approach. Soulfire is not magic, though. That's the thing about the prayers, is they do not cost winds of magic. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Just cooldowns. And a little bit of gold. I mean, you do have to bring the Warrior Priest, but considering you also get Banner of Eternal Flame, which synergizes in tons of matchups, I mean, it's... I see a lot of people playing Empire not bringing Warrior Priests, and I'm not going to say they're doing it wrong, but it kind of seems like they're doing it wrong. Pistolier's summons. I would be too down. Let's take a look here. For Regina's High Elves, coming in with the Avalorn color scheme. Looks like Rangers up front. 3 Rangers, 4 Rangers. Got a couple of Reaver Archers. Dragon Princes, Silver Helms, a Mage of Metal. I like this pick quite a bit. Yeah, Plague of Rust and Final Transmutation. Transmutation of Lead. Great for debuffing enemy melee attack. The Princess on the Griffin as well. Great pick. Griffin looks fantastic too. Man, look at that chest. Like, that Griffin's been doing some bench. Look at that. He is thick. Just absolutely swole. That is goals right there. Meanwhile, for the Tomb Kings of Happy Puppy here, she's got Cleta leading the way, Lich Priest, Lord of Light, 2 Shabti Great Bows, Eyes of the Desert, a Nekara Horseman, Necropolis Knights, nice balanced force to be honest, Skeleton Spears, Kepper Guard for the 1 elite anti-infantry choice, like it quite a bit, couple of Carrions as well. Hey, what's up Falcon? On your way home, absolutely, we are here to entertain. So let's see, Happy Puppy versus Regina. I like this High Elf build. Oh, what is this? What is this? What is this formation? Ooh, some creativity going on over here. Oh, there we go. Hey, what's up, Tam and 10? Oh, man. Ah, it's too bad. Too bad. I'm hoping to stream some more multiplayer. It's tough, man, because I want to stream Crusader Kingdoms, because I'm going to be honest, I'm really addicted to Crusader Kingdoms right now. But also I want to stream multiplayer, really enjoy. This is my bread and butter, obviously. I want to stream some more of that Tyrion campaign, too. But honestly, Crusader Kingdoms is just kind of eating my soul right now. Ooh. Now, I was gonna say, I think that's what it is, but wasn't 100% sure. What's up, Major Moolah? Good to see you. Nice volley of high arrows coming in. Did that actually kill one of those Ushabti models? No, it did not, actually. Interesting. But Khalida kind of squaring up right here. The Reavers coming for some nice hit and run damage, but taking some pretty severe damage in return. But nice countercharge with the Dragon Princess, who's absolutely going to mulch these Nekakara Horsemen. And it looks like the Fireborn were actually pathed into the Necropolis Knights here, so they get a direct countercharge. It's still not the best damage, though. They are taking a little bit, so they're going to go ahead and disengage there. Despite the poison, they should be able to get away pretty clean. Still 69, 68 speed, which is quite nice. Rangers getting into the front line, mixing it up with the zombies, starting to blend it. And the other Dragon Princes over here as well got a pretty good charge on that that unit of Skellies there, Skelly Spears. Looks like we got a Shem's Burning Gaze comes up. Ooh, the not the Dragon Princess, the Griffin Princess manages to dodge it by landing down here for a duel with Khalida. So Princess versus Khalida. Interesting matchup. I like it quite a bit. Both very fun. Fun builds. I mean, Khalida actually takes a lot of damage on that charge. 70 charge bonus on the High Elf Griffins. Not as high as something like the Hippogriff or Bretonia or the Empire Griffin, but still quite potent. The dual roll here, she can then pop up back in the air and keep using that bolt. But you can see the Sepulchral Stalkers came in here, did a ton of missile damage to these Dragon Princes. The Fireborn as well, taking a lot of damage. And that Shem's Burning Gaze now lands pretty significant damage on the Princess there. Her leadership is pretty low. She's got to be careful, but she charges down, gets a good hit on those Sepulchral Stalkers. The Dragon Princes thinking about charging into support, but actually get caught up on those Nekakara Horsemen. Potentially a bit of a problem here. Meanwhile, this infantry fight, the Kepler Guard move in, just start to clean up one flank. Meanwhile, the rest of the skeletons are losing pretty badly, but the Princess going down here actually gets caught by Khalida. Dragon Princes are here, but they're not really in a position to bail her out. She is going to get away. No healing, though, for the High Elves means she'll have a tough time, but a very nicely placed Final Transmutation. A little bit late to the party, but very well done nonetheless. Going to do a ton of damage to these Eyes of the Desert and to Khalida both. So a nice pullback there from Regina. Very good match, I have to say. Ushabti Summon comes down on this. One unit of Dragon Princes that's still left relatively healthy, but they have got in and got on those Ushabti Great Bows. Another Shem's Burning Gaze. Oh, almost completely snipes Princess there. She's down to 380 HP, and again, routes. So, tough situation, but I think the Metal Mage can maybe hold the leadership together as long as the Princess actually routes off the side and doesn't get killed. Will actually be a pretty important factor. They can try and weather the leadership damage, but nice job here with the Metal Mage catching the Eyes of the Desert back with the Reavers there. Dragon Princes also doing a great job finishing off the Sepulchral Stalkers. This is a very close game, honestly. Slightly in favor of the Tomb Kings at this point, as some more units kind of route away, but there's still a lot of Rangers quite healthy, and even against something like Ushabti Great Bows, just because their stats are pretty good, they'll trade okay. Khalida, though, not giving up easily. The Crumbling Mechanic coming in very balanced here. And the Sepulchral Stalkers and Necropolis Knights actually not quite done yet. They allow Khalida to get in with Tomb Strike active and just put a beat down on that Metal Mage. He also gets terrified away from the terror of the Tomb Strike. Shem's Burning Gaze there pops a little bit more damage, not quite enough to finish her off, but she's down below 1,000 HP. So things are looking tough. Happy Puppy fending off the assault here very well. Absolutely furious game back and forth. Shooting in melee equals valid. Totally. Dragon Prince is not really sure where they want to land here. Looks like they finished off the Shabti Great Bows, potentially. Alita is a little bit surrounded by Dragon Princes right now. Oh, she actually just KOs the mage there. Oh, poor dear. Metal Mage just gets completely resect. But will that actually save Kalita? She's now going to get killed by the Dragonborn, by the Dovahkiin. And now, the question is, if the High Elves can rally some of their forces back and then sustain through this leadership shock, they could actually potentially pull this back. It's way out of it, but you can see the princess is still not dead. She's just routing, which is important. It's very, very important. Once that wears off, it's not a permanent leadership effect in the same way that if your lord dies. So right now, Regina, yeah, I would just pull back with these cavalry, maybe play a little bit conservative. You've got a kind of bad engagement here with these Kepler Guard, to be honest. Maybe just try and come back and shut down these Ushabti Great Bows. These Skeleton Spears are pretty much done already. They're just going to take a long time to crumble. But still, very, very close. High Elves right on the edge here. Ooh, that curse goes off from Kalita. That's nasty. That's gonna finish it. Or the Curse of Kassar even. Do some armor sundering, and that's it. It was enough for army losses. So very good game. Well played. Very well played. Regina and Happy Puppy both, ladies. Well done. Oh, absolutely wonderful. Lots of great work on these Dragon Princes XP chevrons to go around. Definitely got some work in. This is kind of one of the reasons why you need healing in many cases. The Metal Mage is good support. Had that final transmutation been just a little bit earlier, and I don't know the Winds of Magic, unfortunately. One of my biggest gripes as a caster, honestly, is that I can't see either player's Winds of Magic, so if I had one wish for Game 3 for like a multiplayer UI upgrade, it would be that. Regardless, that final transmutation, had that come in maybe a little bit earlier to where the princess didn't get quite as resect. It was still going to be tough, though. I mean, the princess against the Shim's Burning Gaze there and everything. It was definitely a fun build on both sides. So, yeah, well played. GG. Kalita LP. It was a fun one. It was a fun one. So let's get in. We'll get the next map locked up. Now Happy Puppy.
In your name.
Thanks, double bands. Hey, Tamanten coming in with a big donation, man. Thanks a bunch. Wow. Blows me away consistently every time. Let me make sure I got Streamlabs open so I can get your message here. Oh yeah, paying for my tournament prize pools. Been a while since I paid the peasant tax for all the content. Hope I'll catch more live streams soon. My schedule is getting less hectic. Yeah, I sure hope so, Tamanten. Then I'm in a position now where I'm going to be streaming more often, just in general. So, yes, now Happy Puppy picks double bans or TK no bans. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. To have a button to make artillery crews get back on their pieces. You know what's interesting, Jay Phoenix, is that artillery crews don't have to mount their own pieces. Did you know? Like if you have if you have 3 cannon crews, let's say, and one of them, the crew gets routed, but the other one has all 3 cannons get destroyed, let's say, for whatever reason, then you can actually have the crew that had their pieces just get destroyed go man the other guns. It would be nice, because on some of the maps it's really hard to find the artillery pieces, especially some of the smaller ones like the bolt throwers, the elf bolt throwers, but I would say, yeah, it'd be nice to have a button to have them return to their original piece, but a lot of people don't actually know. You don't have to mount the same one. You can actually mount different guns. It just has to be the same type, obviously. Like, you can't mount a mortar crew to a cannon, but you can mount a mortar crew to another mortar. Yeah. Tourney without meta lords. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a generic only tournament, but then like everyone would just play lizardmen and dark elves, I think. Maybe high elves. I don't know. A lot of factions don't have great generic lords. Like, actually, Beast Lord's pretty good. He's a really good support lord. Yeah, RORs can't mount a non-ROR piece. That's true, because it actually technically counts as a different unit type. Voice is a little destroyed today. Mount enemy guns, Company of Heroes style. That would be cool. Although, who's going to be the ammo if you have, you know, high elves mounting a Doom Diver? I mean, maybe you just capture some goblins and throw them. Yeah, Glady, that's true. Yeah, true. Skaven. I guess a lot of factions actually have decent generic lords, and like Empire too. You can run the Archlector as like a discount Volkmar, and it works decently well. It's not as good as Volkmar, obviously, but it's okay. Bretonnia would probably be the most screwed. Norska as well. You have literally one choice, and I'm okay. He can take a Mammoth, but he's not great. Only melee. So, like, you'd have to take Nolosi, is what you're saying? Generic Marcus. Oh, yeah. The Huntsman General. Gaston is the true Chad. 100%. 100%. Alright. Map is going to be Eschen this time. Eschen's an interesting one. You've got these two wooded patches right here, and then another wooded patch on this side. It's not completely 100% balanced, because the player on this side does have this extra patch of woods here. But you do technically have a higher hill, I think, over here. So, does that actually balance it out? It's hard to say. But a lot of people will set up using artillery and kind of have this be like an anchor point of the side of your formation. Either set up, if you're wood elves, obviously, or beastmen, set up like in the woods right here, or else even out in the open ground. The thing you have to realize, though, is you do have decent lines of sight over most of the battlefield, but they can kind of use the very lowest part here, depending on the type of artillery you have. And certain types of artillery as well, like mortars and stuff, you can kind of hide behind this hill right here. And like they can almost see you from the top there, but depending on where you're at, you can actually get like a reverse slope kind of situation where they can't hit you. But regardless, did either player actually bring any artillery? Not, I guess, yes, there is a casket here, so we'll start with that. Got a wild casket of souls, actually Happy Puppy utilizing that strategy I just talked about here with this little hamlet here, this little homestead. Got Shabti Great Bows. There's this casket here. Skillies. Looks like more Kepper Guard. High Queen Kalita once more. Who is the caster? Next to Kalita here, hidden. The hidden banner. Mage of Light once again. Very similar build. Quite strong, I have to say. Dark Elves coming in. Double Manticore. Good stuff. We've also got Malice Darkblade. Wow, wild Malice pick. Malice is a weird lord because his mechanic is that he dies. Like, literally, his mechanic is that he just dies. I mean, you get technically a second health pool that drains over time, and some decent abilities. He becomes a very strong combatant during that, but he's still just a horse lord at best, a foot lord at worst. And his mechanic is that he dies. Looks fantastic, though. Probably one of the classiest looking dudes in Warhammer. Like his cold one, look at that, like the pinstriping and stuff on the armor. Like, man, this has to be one of the classiest mounts in the game. He's a styling dude. definitely a styling dude. Out of all the Dark Elves, he probably looks the best. He's just not amazing. Got some Cold One Knights, some Corsairs, Red Spears, and Dark Riders with repeater crossbows. So yeah, Wild Malice pick. Casket plus Malice. This is a game already. Gracier is meta. I actually think Snitch is meta a lot of the times too, or even the Master Assassin. Master Assassin's a bit riskier than Snitch, but he can be very good. Right with that Wild Malice pick. You always got to cheer for Malice. He's a bit of an underdog. He's like, all right, Malice, let's see if you can not turn into a demon today, and if you have to, like, hopefully you just die. Put you out of your misery. Yeah. Man, I love this mount, though. I just can't get over how good this looks. Like, I would definitely ride this thing. The regular Cold One Knights and Dread Knights look pretty cool, but Malice, man, looks awesome. Ice Power coming forward now. The Casket's already opening up. Looks like it's going after the Corsairs. Makes some solid contact. May have already hit those Dark Riders with crossbows yeah, going after the Cold One Knights could also be a pretty good play here with the Casket. Since the Cold One Knights have low models and low HP, very low HP overall, you can do a lot of damage to them very quickly. Pale Romantes hanging around. Shopty Greatbows probably should go after them, but they have a few targets they could go after. Manticores are going to be dangerous, although they're not very expensive, which is one of the things that makes them so good. Yeah, just taking it all in. Let's see. The approach is just kind of very patient at this point. Nice Shem's Burning Gaze right in the face of the Manticore, but they are going to drop now directly on these Great Bows here, and they will kill the models of the Great Bows pretty quickly. Of course, as soon as I say that, they're not going to do anything, but Sepulchral Stalkers get a bit of supporting fire over here. Nicely done. Nekara Horseman actually will trade okay, but a brutal Burning Head, oh man, actually clips those Corsairs there, but the regular Corsairs got in the front line, got a very good engagement. The Kepler Guard will win, definitely, here. I'm curious to see how much they win by, but it seems like potentially a nasty engagement for those Corsairs. Over here, Nekara Horsemen just kind of holding the flank. They're going to get crushed, but they're just a blocking detachment. One Manticore already down, though. Kalita comes in with the righteous Staff of Justice, just full on Wonder Woman KOs the Manticore, so that's pretty good. One Manticore is just straight up dead already. The other one, though, over here has been routed actually by the Nekara Horsemen. Nekara Horsemen just, like, such good stats. They're literally mounted state troops for like 100, 250 points more. So that's really good. They're going to chase the Manticore off here, not take it out completely. Unfortunately, the Cold One Knights were still able to get back and get on these Ushabti Greatbows, so definitely not looking great for Ice Power right out of the gate. The loss of the Manticore resources in particular is pretty bad, but he could definitely pull it back right here. Malice gets a nice engagement with Kalita. She's still got Tomb Strike active, so it's not going to be amazing, but Cold One Knight's pulling away, preparing for another cycle charge. Malice can sit and fight there without too much of an issue. He's still got the Tsarkan summon that he could potentially pop. He may need to very soon, though. Really nice Burning Head, just rips a couple Tomb Guard, actually both Tomb Guard there. That was a huge amount of value on that. Ice Power definitely not going down without a fight. Crossbows going after these Kepler Guard here, and Malice now pops his stuff. Zarkan is active, so Happy Puppy at this point just needs to run away, which is exactly what she's doing. Kalita is now just hightailing it out of there, and the Sepulchral Stalker's getting some great Overwatch fire. Kalita might even stand and fight here. It's going to be dangerous for her to do so, but she maybe can. The fact that the Casket's still healthy, you've got these Ushabti Greatbows also quite healthy still. I definitely want to get them firing at this blob of crossbows, but it's so far looking pretty decent. Oh, nice hit. Yeah, directly on that crossbow blob. And Sarkhan's getting now bullied by the Eyes of the Desert here. Eyes of the Desert, probably secretly one of the best regiments for now in the game. I think Sepulchral Stalkers in general are one of the best monstrous infantry, definitely top 5. And yeah, Eyes of the Desert in particular, ridiculously good. So they're gonna come in here. Tsarkan does use the last of his abilities, but not gonna be enough, I don't think. Nice miscast, kind of blows up that Lich Priest a little bit. The summon, the Ushabti summon's about to go down here. The Kepler Guard also almost completely done, so I don't know, actually. I don't know. The balance of power, as long as the Dark Elves can avoid hitting critical army losses, they have the tools that they need to come back. I mean, Khalida is going to be tough to take out. The Sepulchral Stalkers, this crossbow fire is doing a great job just dealing consistent damage. Does look like we're going to get a nice Barona's Time Warp? No, Flaming Sword of Ruin, actually, for the Dark Elves there. Another casket shot does clip a few of the models of the Dark Riders. The Sorceress moves in to take out the Lich Priest. Nice play there. Yeah. Ice Power just absolutely scrapping here in the late game, refusing to go down. Tsarkan is gone now. Malice died the death of many deaths that he always does, and at this point, I don't know. The question is, can these things outshoot a casket and these Ushabti Greatbows still? I think probably not. Lich Priest might have just blown himself up completely. It looks like he did. Oh, yep. Oh, just gets beat down by a witch standing on a manticore. That's something right there. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. I think the Dark Elves are too close to army losses at this point. The Casket's just been absolutely dunking on them. And the fact Khalida is still pretty healthy, yeah, that's it. Dark Elves still had a decent chance there, potentially, but it was going to be really tough. But credit to Ice Power there. It was a fun one. Wild Malice pick is always, you know, a win in our hearts. But Khalida going strong today. 133 kills with the Casket of Souls. Khalida herself striking down the nasty Manticores. 130 kills for the Kepler Guard. And just great overall for the Tomb Kings. Great Burning Heads, though. 138 kills for the Sorceress, Lore of Fire. One of the Black Ark Corsairs got a good engagement. This one did decent as well. 40 kills there. But Cold One Knights had a bit of a tough time. Malice had a bit of a tough time. Manticores really had a tough time. Yes, Tsarkan died to death. He died the death of many deaths. Happy Puppy is on a tear today. So, next up we got Wicked. Yeah, that was nice. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Go ahead and switch the map. We'll go to Galbaraz. Yeah. So that's yeah, Malice. It's a fun one. Malice is a little bit tough. It's oh nice, fun and interactive. Is this Wicked's new nickname? I love it. I love it. So Khalida's reign continues. And I will queue up some more wonderful MedTune music for everyone. Oh yeah, Falcon. They're amazing. They're the best. Well, next to my clanmates, of course. Use the puppy eyes. uh Someone bring Tehenowin in his Sotek Crusade. Oh, it could be a good one. Happy Puppy's gonna stick. Tomb Kings. No bans. Lita's reign of terror continues. She is fabricating all of the claims and usurping all of the titles. Oh, Wicked's gonna counter with the Greenskins, though. Greenskins declare a holy war for the Wa. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go grab some water, guys. I'll be right back. You know, actually, you say Hellebron. I've been experimenting with some Hellebron builds recently. I think the addition of the Master makes her kind of a little bit more viable on horseback. She's actually really strong on horseback. She's got like crazy armor piercing damage, like 170, or no, 70 melee attack with poison. I mean, her buffs are in theory really strong too. It's just she gets really expensive really fast. But with the physical resistance of the Master, you take her magic resistance item as well, and you can get like effective damage resistance on stuff like, you know, herself obviously, but then you also get, what am I trying to say? Warlocks, Doomfire Warlocks, and like Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter, stuff like that. You can give them extra, basically again, damage resistance, right? Because physical resistance plus magic resistance equals damage resistance, basically. So yeah, she is too expensive, I agree. But if she were a bit cheaper, the thing is, again, the Master too, it gives you two pretty strong combatants that are on horseback that can kind of go around and support each other. And obviously you have your caster, probably bring Manscore summons. I've tried it, it's okay. It's not great, but it's definitely okay. Well, to be fair, she wasn't just overpowered, she was broken. Like, she was actually legitimately broken. Like, her ability was not functioning correctly. Yeah, Hellebron could be as balanced as the Fae. Actually, she might even be more balanced than the Fae because she can't heal herself like the Fae can. And there's no way for... I mean, unless you like do some weird thing with Soul Stealer where the caster like blows up next to Hellebron, except maybe they fixed that. Yeah, it's a different play style though. If you're going with a really offensive, like fast attack style with like I try to build, I'd be curious. It's like the ROR warlocks, one other warlock, like 4 dark riders with shields, and then some other stuff. And then yeah, I think I had a Manticore maybe or 2 Manticore summons as well. Basically, it was like I was playing Beasts Elves, more or less. Like a lot of hit and run, like as if I just had more Wild Riders, basically, and then using Hellebron to give the attack buff, like when they get a really good engagement. Worked okay. I mean, granted, I don't know if it would work super well against a super high level player in a tournament setting, but yeah, I see a lot of people not taking the magic resistance too on Hellebron, which I think is one of the biggest things. Like, magic resistance is really good in certain matchups. Yeah. Hellebron should be cheaper though. She should probably be like 1,100 base cost, maybe 1,200 base cost, 1,150, something like that. They're waiting on me. Whoops. Alright, not that. Where's Zach? Thank you very much. Appreciate your service. And let me just ham fist that right there. Great. Okay. Cold One Knights are okay. They can get really good engagements if they get good engagements, but if they get bad engagements, they get really bad engagements. They're very glass cannony. I wish the Dread Knights had a little bit more HP. If they had more HP, they'd actually be pretty good. Like, the ROR ones are themselves, like, almost there. You could heal them 100%. Like, if you could take the ROR Dread Knights on Bretonia's roster, 100%. I would take them every time, almost. Still not as good as Questing Knights, but that like, 50 melee defense is quite solid. 56 something. Anyway, let's take a look here at the Royal Gabo Air Force. Got, what, 4 Doom Divers? Yeah, 4 Doom Divers. 3 Spider Rider Archers, 8 Peak Loons, Orc Boys, Gabos, and led by Gabo Great Shaman on the Spider. This guy's pretty good. You don't see him as much as you probably should, but only 55 leadership means he can route pretty easy. He's got 2 big bosses supporting, so going all in with the Spiders. And got some Ushabti here. Got Skeleton Archers, Khalida once again. This time got a Tomb Scorpion with some Spokal Stalkers. Eyes of the Desert, probably, yep. Some Skeleton Horses. Wild Tomb Scorpion pick. This time we got Lore of Spirit Leech and Purple Sun. Yes, thank you, Happy Puppy. You at least brought one fun spell from the lore. But how about this Tomb Scorpion? For some reason it looks like extra awesome in Khalida's color scheme. Like, I love this, like, teal and white, kind of, with, like, the teal runes going on, and, like, the whole thing with the headpiece, because it kind of matches this glow of the sparkle, right? So, this has to be probably the best-looking version of the Tomb Scorpion. I'm going to say that right now. Man, absolutely styling. We've seen some styling units today. Tomb Scorpion, I hate its animations. I shouldn't say that. They're awesome. I love the way they look. They're just a pain to deal with. Like, one of the coolest looking models in the game, though, for sure. Yeah, Hellebron on the Manticore is not very good. It's not cost effective. I would only ever take her on the horse mount. Or on foot, maybe. That's pretty risky, though. But on the horse mount, at least, she's like 90-something speed. She has a ridiculously good combat stats. She's like squishier Tyrion, but with some really nice offensive buffs. Oh boy, look at the Doom Divers immediately just going to lay waste to the Skeleton Horsemen. The rest of the forces will have to approach. The Doom Divers are going to be pretty nasty here. They will be pretty nasty. Spiders come forward. Question is, Wicked going to notice this? Skeleton Horsemen now in a position to begin firing, and they do start shooting that Doom Diver crew. They're not going to do a ton of damage very quickly, but they will do damage. So far, Wicked has not noticed. You can tell he's not stream sniping, but Happy Puppy honestly should just like use these Nekar Horsemen more or less as, the Skeleton Horsemen more or less as bait, and just have this leave them in range of the Skeleton Archers here. Looks like Wicked does notice finally though. He's going to get those Gobos to start some screening action, and more Skeleton Horsemen Archers coming up this way, sweeping around, doing some good scouting. More Horsemen there, but the Doom Divers are now going to get switched on to this Tomb Scorpion here, which is great for them. Ooh, this is good. These big bosses on spiders are actually faster than the Skeleton Horsemen, or like almost exactly the same speed. But once they get the poison in there, the Skeleton Horsemen are not going to be able to get away. So Happy Puppy instead just sacrifices them in to at least rout the Doom Diver crew and disrupt them for the time being. I mean, Skeleton Horsemen Archers will do that at least okay. They're unbreakable, right? They're taking a lot of damage, though. Need to pull out of that engagement. Or else it might just be a full sacrifice, which is also fine. I mean, did that end up paying for itself? It's hard to say. It did at least keep the Doom Divers disrupted, and you can see now they're not firing on this main line on the advance. Bleed is taking a little bit of Archer fire, though. So the Spider Rider Archers are not going to do much damage. They have pretty low DPS, but it'll do something. Continue to kind of control Khalid's movements a little bit there. The other Skeleton Horseman Archers now in range to start shooting the Doom Diver crews. And Doom Divers really haven't paid for themselves so far. They've mostly been shooting, you know, chaff units, and they will do damage to Khalida herself. That's going to be a good target for them to shoot at. Scorpion, they did a little bit too, not a lot, maybe 5-10% of its HP in damage. Yeah, the Scorpion is a pretty small model. Khalida is also a pretty small model. The thing about the Doom Divers, though, is they are very accurate. They're, like, almost disturbingly accurate, and that's kind of their gimmick, right? Like, they don't do as much damage as something like a cannon. Their accuracy is on point. So they're going to be a tough pressure regardless, as long as they're all just focused on one target and continuously pressuring. But the Skeleton Horseman Archers, again, getting caught up by the spiders here and dragged down. Wicked definitely controlling the pace of this battle very well. Heavy Doom Diver presence. You can see Khalida is taking some serious heat. Almost wonder if you shouldn't just keep her out of range and try and take the shots on the Scorpion instead. It is a little bit cheaper than her. But yeah, you can see Khalida just taking a beating here. This is what I'm talking about, man. It is 4,000 points worth of Doom Divers, though. So even just like taking Khalida out, at best she's maybe like 2,000 points. At worst, like 1,500. It is pretty nasty, though. Ooh, yeah, she's going down in a big hurry. So that's going to be a bit tough. And now I'm worried a little bit about the spider situation. Like, if Khalida goes down, which she now did, what is going to take down the spider? That being said, Ushabti are now getting in range to get into melee. The Tomb Scorpion also definitely needs to get into melee. Archers come forward, Skeleton Archers come forward. They're going to be able to saturate some fire in here and potentially get some work done. But the Scorpion, that amount of focus fire is pretty insane from the Doom Divers. They have used up a lot of their ammunition, though. I mean, half of their ammo so far. And, I mean, taking out just Khalida and the Spider, but I guess it maybe is enough just for the leadership effect of taking out Khalida, but I don't know, is that even cost effective? I mean, it's like barely, maybe even not. Depends. Right now the Spider's taking some heat, though. The Armor Sundering, putting it down. Actually, they're not in range yet. Now they're firing. Sepulchral Stalkers also being a little bit forgotten here is tough. They need to be in this fight, pressuring that Spider, definitely. But, oh man, Curse of the Bad Mood in the front line absolutely wrecks the Scorpion's Legion here. Oh yeah. Love this spell. Actually does okay damage. It's not amazing, but oh boy. Oh, it wants these spearmen. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just clips the side of the formation there beautifully. You can see pretty okay damage. It used to do a lot less, but this focus fire here from the skeleton archers and a very well-placed purple sun start to even things back out a little bit. This death priest is going down. They need stab been cast on him, and he's taking a lot of damage from something. But now the reserve Ushabti moving in. Sepulchral stalkers also can come forward, and they'll be able to gat these goblin big bosses pretty quick. And then I don't know. I don't think this orc infantry corps is enough. I mean, they are just regular orc boys, so like Ushabti will be able to beat them. And with the goblin shaman going down here, could it be enough? Depends. Oh yeah, man, look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Sepulchral Stalker's just blasting this big boss right in the dome, and he immediately nopes out before he can even make contact. That's really nice, pulling back the leadership. You can see that pulls back the balance of power a little bit as well. So despite the Royal Gobbo Air Force doing their best, you know, for the Spider God, but they didn't do enough, apparently. Maybe not. We'll see. It's still very close. These Sepulchral Stalkers, though, this tactical reserve, going to be nasty here. They're now blasting these Spider Riders. Looks like we're going to have Vindictive Glare on them. Nope, actually. Just kidding. The Goblin Shaman routes because the Ushabti summon comes nearby, and they're very scary. So he's gone, and the balance of power is turned pretty clearly in Khalid's favor. And how about that? I say Khalid's favor. Khalid got blasted a while ago, but that Lich Priest was able to hold on long enough, get a nice purple sun there. We'll take a look at the kill totals at the end. We'll see, though. I mean, right now, all these Doom Diver crews being routed off is a really big deal. The Skeleton is doing a great job just getting pounded by Goblins and Orcs. Exactly what they're meant to be doing. And this other Ushabti, too, man. 12 Ushabti, almost full health completely. The Tactical Reserve coming in strong here. Oof. Oh, yeah, I love the squid face. Gobbo's on the trail. Dun, 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 dun. There's a killer on the road. Oh, I'm gonna get demonetized now. Don't claim my video, please. Oh, I don't know. The Doom Divers are making a push to come back right now. Bounce power's been clawed back somewhat as the Sepulchral Stalkers take some damage from the Doom Divers. But look at the burst damage on that poor little Gobbo there. Another very nicely placed Curse of the Bad Moon. Did not actually hit these Sepulchral Stalkers. It did. It does sunder their armor, so you can see now they're down to 50 armor from that Curse of the Bad Moon there. It's actually very, very interesting. So the Gobbo Big Boss fighting here will do a little bit of extra damage. While that debuff is active, it doesn't last very long, but it's there. It's definitely something. The Ushabti, though, the Chad Ushabti moving through. Scorpion Legion also, despite taking some shots earlier. The question is, will it actually be enough? Doom Divers that remain are continuing to lob shots in here, and the Spider just barely routing off here. Gobbo Great Shaman there is gone. It's now these Ushabti versus the world, and the world is not looking too hot right now. It looks like the Ushabti probably take it. I say Ushabti versus the world. The Stalkers also managed to survive that engagement there. And all these skeleton archers, too. Been some wild builds today. Happy Puppy, though, going on an absolute tear so far. Got 3 wins in the bag. Very impressive. Should get a scoreboard up. Oh, that's horribly off-center. Oh, no. Oh, no, can I not? There we go. And let's get this in here. I'll actually hide this side for now. And 3 wins. Start keeping track here, because Happy Puppy has been on a tear. Cool, cool. Let's see, who's up next? I believe we have Stormrunner. Awesome, man. Good games. Good games. That's just how it be sometimes. Kalita is taking no mercy today. Just absolutely imprisoning all the vassals. Merciless, just gaining dread like it's nothing. Heat minus for not enough doom wheels. Alright, so the map is going to be MP Hairrot Ridge. Happy Puppy, I'm assuming, will stick with Kalita. Let's see how long she can take the reins here. Hashtag vassal. Vassalize me. I mean, other than the fact that she's undead, I think I would let Kalita vassalize me. I mean, that would definitely give me some negative opinion modifiers, but not enough to where I would refuse vassalization. You know, assuming she has the right de jure titles. Oh man, so let's see, is the Stormrunner gonna try, oh no, oh boy, oh no, I say. Oh, this is gonna be an interesting one. Are we about to see some paladins here? Are we about to see some ghostly paladins from the Wild Coast pick? Top 5 units of the game, it's Doom Wheels, all of them. Kolek gets killed by Cetra in the end times. That's cool. You know, as much as I joke about hating the undead and Crumbling being the worst, I actually don't completely hate the Tomb Kings. I don't completely hate all the undead, I should say, but the Tomb Kings, I actually kind of like their aesthetic, and like Cetra's a really cool character. I like their lore and stuff, and yeah, Tomb Kings are the least offensive undead for sure. So I'm totally fine, especially Kalita too. Kalita's a fun lord. I like the fact that Happy Puppy's taking on the challenge of taking Kalita every game, and so far it's been very good. Very, very good. So big thanks to everyone again for joining. Got quite a few more people to get through, so sit tight, grab the popcorn, whatever else you need to do. Use the restroom perhaps a little bit. How about Microsoft, though, buying Bethesda? I'm curious to get your guys' take on that. I've been a fan of Bethesda in the past. Like, I played a ton of Skyrim. I actually considered starting a channel back when Skyrim was, well, you know, new, which is a long time ago. Not new, I should say, but kind of like towards the middle part of its life cycle. Yeah, loved Oblivion. Absolutely loved Oblivion. Oblivion's probably one of my favorite games of all time. And like, Fallout 3 was alright. Fallout 4 was pretty good. I actually really enjoyed Fallout 4 despite its shortcomings. New Vegas, obviously not made by them, made by Obsidian, but now them and Obsidian are both under Microsoft's umbrella. And this is like the most, I posted this on Twitter, it's the most Microsoft thing ever. Like, oh, we need more first-party games. What should we do? I know, we'll just buy a giant, you know, buy another publisher. Just, you know, acquisition, because that's just the Microsoft way. And it'll be interesting. I actually think it could be good for the Bethesda brand, because Bethesda as a publisher has, I mean, they've had some serious misses. They've had some serious hits. Like some of their games have been really good. Doom in particular has been quite this astounding success. But obviously you have like 76 was an absolute disaster. Like, just unmitigated torrential disaster. And they've also had some other kind of weird stuff going on lately, just not great. Like, Blades is now good from what I hear, but probably no one cares. And I mean, you got Elder Scrolls Online. People are fans of that. A lot of people are not. You know, whatever. If you enjoy it, that's cool. It's just they're in a bit of a weird place as a publisher. So personally, I'm excited. What it means is that potentially, yeah, they could get some more resources. Just be able to take their focus and put it back more towards game development. And I know, like, because the developer is completely separate from the publisher, but we'll see. It should be interesting. Yeah, exactly. Bethesda can't be run into the ground when they're already there. Like, I don't think that Microsoft can do any worse with Bethesda than Bethesda has done with themselves, so it's quite interesting. No. I love that song, Zachway. I refuse to let it be stolen by Fallout 76, by that garbage game. Actually, here, Fallout 76 is kind of okay now, too. I haven't played... I own it, technically. I haven't played much. I bought it just to see how much of a mess it was, and it turned out to be as much of a mess, if not more, than I expected. Like, just consistent, hilarious bugs. So, there was that. Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be a timed Xbox exclusive? I don't think so, because you look at Xbox and Microsoft's business model right now, all the quote-unquote exclusives are also coming out on PC at the same time, more or less, right? And you can get the Game Pass and just get everything. So I don't know. I think they're going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC. They're basically just not going to be on PS4 for whatever, however amount of time. Almost rendered West Virginia. No textures on the rivers. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Never forget too, the zombies just like limbs. And all you know, monsters and NPCs' limbs just doing all sorts of horrifying displays. Aggressively T-posing. Just asserting dominance through T-pose. Yeah, Elder Scrolls needs the modding community. I definitely agree. Like, the reason I played Skyrim for the hundreds of hours that I did, I mean, the game itself was worth probably 100 to 200 hours, maybe. Just, you know, the base game itself is good, don't get me wrong, but it has some issues, and the mods, with the mods, it's just like, oh, that game gets so good. So good. Oblivion, I'm gonna be honest, the Oblivion guild quests, like in particular the Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild too is really good, even the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild, all of the guild quest lines are really super solid. That's some of my most favorite quests of any like RPG ever. Especially, there's like the whodunit one for the Dark Brotherhood where it's like literally Clue, except you're the murderer and you have to kill everyone without them finding out, and like you can actually, if you have high enough speech skill, you can actually just like convince them to murder each other. There's a lot you can do. It's fun, and that's the thing I love about that game is the roleplay elements were pretty strong. I wouldn't say as strong as Morrowind, but the balance of like fun action gameplay and roleplay was pretty good. The Speechcraft minigame was terrible, though. I have nightmares about that. Anyway, let's take a look. I called it. Did I not call it? We've got at least one paladin here, and Silostra on... can you call this on foot? We're going to say on foot, although she's definitely not on her feet. Just floating here. This is interesting. I occasionally will take Silostra like this. It's super risky because she's very squishy, but she's also really cheap as well. And, I mean, she's squishy to magic damage. She's got a lot of physical resistance, obviously, as a ghost. Gunnery White here, Apex Zombie, not on his crab, but just ready to go. Got a couple of Sirens, Wild Bloaty Boy, Necrofex Colossus of Fire, super solid. Just a strong unit overall that you don't see enough, really. I'm surprised you don't see this guy more. Bombos up front, some bombos, some handguns, the Black Spot too. Love these guys. You also don't see these guys as much as you should probably, because they are literally a gun halberd. They have bayonets, which I wish we had more units with bayonets, to be honest. It's a cool hybrid feature. Even if their stats are still pretty garbage, it's fun. Oh yeah, the damn Paladin, and believe it or not, could actually be a decent pick here, depending on what Happy Puppy's brought for her Tomb Kings. I do see a Casket of Souls there. We have seen the Shem's Burning Gaze a lot, though, and it does look like she's got that here for the Lich Priest Lord of Light, so the Paladin's got to be careful of that, as does Silostra. Both could get hard blasted by that. High Queen Kalita here, of course. Does not deal magic damage. I don't think... Tomb Strike doesn't give magic damage either, I don't believe. I can just double check. No, it does not. Wanted to just make sure. So she doesn't have any way of giving magic damage, but the Shem's Burning Gaze in particular will be quite good. The Eyes of the Desert Missile Attack, of course. The Sepulchral Stalkers also deal magic damage. Here you can see on their ammunition it lists that. Poison as well, so that's good. And yeah, archers, lots of archers, some more skeletons up front. Horsemen scattered around. Never enough Doom Wheels, 100% correct. Yeah, the guild quest lines in Skyrim were terrible. Absolutely terrible. To be honest, the thing they nailed in Skyrim was the atmosphere and the exploration, which granted they also nailed in Oblivion as well, but even more so in Skyrim. And like the Civil War thing was cool. It definitely had a lot more potential than what it actually was, but like the whole system of yeah, I mean, the Thieves Guild quest was okay, and I still enjoyed the Dark Brotherhood one. It wasn't as good as Oblivion, though, and, like, the Companions are a joke. I wasn't a fan of that one at all. And Mage's College as well is pretty lackluster. It's cool, but not nearly as good as Oblivion. Yeah, it was way too short, and they could have done a lot better. I agree, and considering that it's, like, you know, that it should be really the premier guild of that game, considering that Nords are all about the fighting. It's really a letdown. Yeah, Oblivion had the level scaling. They did kind of fix it with Skyrim, although Skyrim does still have a lot of level scaling. Oblivion was interesting in that regard, but so far both teams making their way forward. Silostra did get blasted once there, and she's already feeling the pain of that Shem's Burning Gaze. So that Lich Priest Lore of Light's got to be careful, got to stay in cover if possible. Syrenes come forward and fight Skeleton Warriors here. They'll win eventually, but that's going to take a long time for both units. Sepulchral Stalkers are chilling back for the time being, waiting. Oh, nice. Oh, this is nasty, though. The Necrofex Colossus can literally kill almost this entire army by itself. So it's definitely a priority unit that the Skeletons need to take out. And look at that focus fire from the archers immediately coming in there. Nice Shem's Burning Gaze as well. I think that was actually going after Silostra, but Stormrunner able to block it with the Necrofex and just take the damage there, which is fine. In the back, Skeleton Horseman, Carrion come down, smash these Shade Wraith Gunners. I think probably one of these Carrion should go peel. Regardless, though, I mean, the focus fire from the archer has been very legit. And because there's no Invocation of Nehek, that means Kalita can come in here and also deliver a pretty righteous strike. She gets hit very hard, though, by the Necrofex because it deals fire damage, so better to just pull away and let it crumble there. Oh, man, here we go. Oh, no, the Dread ship appears, the Ghost ship. And Geist's Revenge down the line. It doesn't look like it got as good a contact as Stormrunner probably would have liked. And now we see the Crab summon as well. And the damn Knight Errant summon, both right on top of each other. So very aggressive push as he understands he needs to shut down these Sepulchral Stalkers here. He's got to shut down that Light Mage as well if he can. Light Mage is doing a good job just chilling back though. And this whole time keep in mind that this Casket's been raining shots as well. The Halberds, I say the halberds. The bayonets will only help so much against this much of a concerted push, especially the carrion have high weapon damage and will actually hit pretty hard against zombies, believe it or not. Carrion are probably one of the best flying units in the game, I would say. This paladin currently not engaged in combat, just kind of chilling here over on the side. Now he gets going. He could run back here and try and snipe out this casket, potentially. Now, the Lich Priest gets surrounded by the damn Knights Errant, and they're just going to pummel him. Wow, look at that damage. These are just Knights Errant, guys. I mean, they are just Knights Errant at the end of the day in terms of stats. And they wreck this Lich Priest very quickly. That just shows how squishy he is. Lita's still fighting in the front line. She's down to about half HP. If Gunny could get free, he could pop her. But we'll see. Sirens definitely need to get back and keep working on these archers here. Sepulchral Stalkers, though, now get some nice volleys into the damn Knights Errant. They're not long for this world anyway. They've just about used up their summon timer, but it looks like the Paladin, he does have Strider as an ethereal unit. He can run straight through the trees. And he's going to go back and try and take out that casket. Another Vangeist's Revenge popping off. Zylostra, using her magic, is going to force those skeletons to move, and it will friendly fire these zombies. Oh yeah, just shreds what's left of the zombies there. Beautifully done. So far, balance is still pretty even, though, surprisingly so, given the situation. I mean, I guess this Paladin is still completely healthy, and Gunny also. Gunny is just champing it out over here. Been fighting these Carrion and Horsemen for a while. Man, Gunny, such a great character. I mean, he's even got a bayonet on his rifle. I don't know why he's not using that. Song of Enthrallment comes in from Zylostra. Going to try and debuff those units over there. Meanwhile, on the back, oh man, does a casket deal magic damage in melee? It does not. Oh, the Sepulchral Stalkers must have come in and blasted that Paladin. With him taking so much HP damage, you can see that equalizes, or sorry, shifts the balance of power even more so into Happy Puppy's favor. Friendly fire is best fire. Ethereal's blobbed around in front of a casket, yeah. Potential problem for sure. Cleta comes in, she's going to use her kind of poison explosion here. And just nom Gunny, just absolutely smash him. Happy Puppy taking no prisoners. Not that Undead would give prisoners, but always laugh in campaign when I'm playing, but what's going on with this? Let's not pay attention to that. I always laugh in campaign when I'm playing like Greenskins, and I beat an Undead army, and it wants me to eat the remains. I'm like, it doesn't seem super sanitary to eat, you know, stuff that's been dead for a really long time. I guess orcs' stomachs can handle it, but regardless, very fun game. Well played to Stormrunner there, and Happy Puppy both, man. Happy Puppy just playing out of her mind today. Able to stabilize against that fire rush there. That focus fire from the archers was enough. I didn't see what that bloated corpse killed, but 87 kills must have done something. 173 for these Sirens, very nice. 98 for Zylostra. Only 13 for the Paladin, but he's more of a single target specialist. Just didn't quite get in the right place at the right time. If he could have helped Goon Cleta, potentially, but the Sepulchral Stalkers were just such a menace to deal with here. You almost need a more volume of guns. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Shade Wraith Gunners. I think you could honestly cut them in almost every build, and it would be better off. Probably one of the worst RORs in the game, but that's just my opinion. Let's go ahead and get the next competitor, which is going to be Tesla. And let me update the scoreboard as well. Excellent. Got some fun videos coming for you guys. I recorded a few yesterday, quite a few the day before. So this whole week pretty much is done. I've got some more edited stuff coming soon. PM, can't say how soon, but this is what winning feels like, Happy Puppy. This is what being an absolute boss feels like. Oh yeah, that Necrofex body glitch was definitely something. Is the whole lore of vampires banned, or just Nehek? Well, if you... just Nehek. And for Tomb Kings, it's actually the whole lore of Nehek, right? Because Tomb Kings actually have a lore of Nehekara, which is literally lore of Nehek. So Tomb Kings, you can't take an entire lore, but for vampire counts, yes, you can take just not Invocation of Nehek. If you really want to be cool, you don't take lore of vampires at all. But that's just if you want to be cool. Cool. Not streaming definitely helps. Yeah, playing and streaming and commentating at the same time is really hard. That is a skill in and of itself. I know my micro suffers anytime I've tried to do that, so I tend not to. Anyway, I'm just joking. It's not actually started yet. Maybe I'll do an official No Nehek November tournament in November actually, but yeah, for now it's nothing. It's just me joking. Tesla taking greenskins on against the Tomb Kings. Again, maybe something different than the Doom Divers? Shout out to Wicked again, that was awesome, man. Super fun game. Alright, alright. See you, Falcon. Catch you later, man. The best overall unit? That's impossible, Mole Spaghetti. It is totally situational. I wouldn't say there's one unit that's best overall in the entire game. I mean, it's like unit classifications are there for a reason. I don't know. It's hard to quantify like one classification versus another. Yeah, it's an interesting one though. I'm gonna be doing some list kind of unify the highlights that I've been doing, the unit highlights. Doing like I've got a top 5 monsters list written and a bottom 5 monsters. Just need to record the videos and get them slapped together. Good. Yep. Yeah, should be fun. Got some stuff planned. Most underpriced unit in the game is definitely the Manticore. Manticore could easily be 1,000 points and it'd probably still be good. Like 950 at least. Crumbling video? Maybe, Mole Spaghetti, at some point. Maybe. They might just fix it. But, yeah. The HP and leadership thing is one that's been taking me a lot longer because I've like restarted this script like 3 times. I just need to finish it at this point. all the unbreakable RORs are underpriced. That's not true, J Phoenix. One of them actually is appropriately costed, which is the Eternal Guards. Regiment of Renown Eternal Guards, which you don't ever see because they're overpriced. Yeah, it was 900, and then they put it back down, and then they reworked Rampage, and now I think it needs to be 850 or 900. It would still be good even at that price as a cheap terror monster. It's still one of the cheapest terror monsters in the game besides the Bastildon, and just better than the Feral Bastildon at least. Oh yes, yes, yes. These guys get their builds all together. How many more do we have on the list here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So still 6 games to go, potentially. Unless anyone drops. Don't say anything funny without you? Oh, you know me. I'm hilarious. Just kidding. Yeah, we should, I should also go get some more water. I should just bring my water bottle over here, to be honest. I'll be right back. And then back. Oh, good thing I remembered to unmute myself this time. It was just, sorry, I had to deal with my, Ajit Spy Master. But yeah, I don't play in tournaments because of a few reasons. Number one is, honestly, I enjoy casting more. I'll still play in tournaments occasionally. But I enjoy casting more, personally. And, yeah, my schedule, up until recently, has been kind of all over the place. There hasn't been as many tournaments recently. But, like, yeah, even up until, like, a few weeks ago, my day job work schedule was very variable, I guess I would say. Like, it would depend a lot on how many jobs I would get, and I could never really predict on, like, how many jobs I would get when. I could kind of plan ahead to a degree, but Yeah, it was always interesting. Now, though, I think I could enter more. And, like, I saw there was one tomorrow, actually. I believe, I want to say it's Maker. I'll have to grab a link, or if Wicked or one of you other mods in the chat can go grab a link for that as well. There's one tomorrow that I was considering signing up for. I think I might play in that one. But anyway, let's have a look at these builds here that I'm missing out on. Wurzag, Dancing Wurzag on foot. We've got Biggins up front with the 8-peak loons here. Some Gobos as well. More Biggins out to the flanks. 2 Giants. Night Goblin Shaman, we've got 2 Spider Riders, 3 Spider Riders, and 3 Wolf Chariots. Love the Wolf Chariot pick. Khalida, excuse me. We've got Lich Priest here, Sepulchral Stalkers again, all the Archers, a couple of Necropolis Knights this time, 2 Necropolis Knights, and some Skeleton Horsies. So Archers definitely need to be focusing on the Giants more than anything. And it looks like they are turning to do just that. Does Khalida actually have her missile buff? She does not. Might be useful for her to be taking that, honestly, but right now the Giant not taking a whole lot of damage. Khalida is going to rush in there, try and bail them out. The Necropolis Knights get a good charge there on those Biggins, but the Goblin Wolf Chariots are there to provide some mass. Nice Purple Sun on this side, gets quite a bit of damage in, and the Necropolis Knights charge also. Orc Biggins do have, here we go though, so they're punching back very, very hard, but one Giant already taken down to the focus fire, and Skeleton Archers, man, I honestly should save some of these replays from today for Skeleton Archer Day, because they've been just tanking it out today, doing very cost-effective work. That Giant there's down. This flank, though, obviously, very heavy push from the Greenskins coming in and potential to compromise a lot of the Archers, so Sepulchral Stalkers probably need to switch over onto this side to help defend against that cavalry attack, but the Necropolis Knights in the front line were able to win pretty decisively there. Skeleton Horsemen out on the flanks against these Spider Riders doing okay, but the Biggins and Gobos also pushing through over here, so we'll see. It's going to be a tough one. Wurzag, Dancing Wurzag is just boogieing with the Tomb Guards there. Kind of gets bullied a little bit by the Necropolis Knights as they pull through. Lead is taking a good amount of damage, though, as well, so we'll see. Right now, the Archer focus really needs to get shut down, and it looks like it is just about to. These Gobos about to get in here. The Biggins about to get in here and shut these Gobos down. The Necropolis Knights just ping-ponging around like mad, trying to do everything they can to hold back the Green Tide. The Wolf Chariots do break through, though, eventually. Will it be enough to save the Giant? It's tough to say. The Giant's now coming over to try and bail out Wurzag against these Tomb Guard, actually. Tomb Guard is a good matchup for Wurzag. It's good for the Tomb Guard, I should say, because they have decent weapon damage and decent stats. They can fight Wurzag with his low armor fairly well. Sepulchral Stalkers, again, completely healthy into the late game here, and that is going to prove pretty decisive as the tide starts to turn against the tide. The Bony Boys definitely making their presence felt. Skeleton Archers, mostly crumbling now, but they have done their damage. This Giant, one dead Giant, one almost dead Giant, and Wurzag now getting chased off by the spooky Sneck Lady. Lita here delivering some more Wonder Woman moves. Oh yeah, awesome. Necropolis Knights also can use their ranged attacks to go after the fire, or the Giant here. Juan now being popped a little bit late in the day. I don't know if he had it earlier. Again, that's one thing I would love to have access to, is the army abilities and the cooldowns and stuff. These Biggins are in a little bit of a pitched fight here, mostly surrounded by Spookies, but they're actually fighting decently well. They're winning combat straight up over here, so that Wa timing push was pretty good, and the balance of power has been crawled back towards even as the Green Tide came in and actually finished off the Archers. It's been pretty important, and the Biggins here are going to be tough opponents regardless to, all of these, even the Necropolis Knights too, which are now crumbling away. Here we go, also been used on this little blob here, mostly just to hit the Giant, but the Biggins are also coming in for a rear charge there. Can Khalida take out the Giant? It looks like, and just like that, Khalida's reign of terror may be over. I'm even calling it a little bit prematurely there. The Curse goes off, which is going to do a ton of AoE damage to a lot of these units here, may potentially shatter them. But if Khalida goes down, that's a big, big problem. She needs to peel and go after Wurzag, but he uses the effigy to get there to just go for the throat. Finishing blow. The Giant ignores the attack order that has been given, but I think the Biggins and Wurzag will be enough. Wurzag charges in here. Got a pretty good charge bonus. 59 charge on foot is actually amazing for a caster lord, and just like that, Happy Puppy's tyranny, High Queen Khalida, is been usurped by the Dancer. That was a good one, man. Happy Puppy played that very well. and taking out the one giant. The second giant, though, able to remain kind of out on that flank, and the pressure from the Gobble Wolf chariots and everything else, the disruption, ended up being able to find its way to the archers eventually and took them down. So great stuff. Big hand for Happy Puppy. Great job, great performance today. He's going to be our wins leader for the time being. Not 24, just 4 wins. And we'll go ahead and switch her over there. Just like that. Now, we've got Tesla over here with his 1 win. Beautifully done. Very, very fun. So we'll get the next one queued up. Tesla's opponent here going to be Samurai Warrior. He is coming. Perfect. Look. Major Moolah coming in with the Major Moolah. Toss a coin to your streamer. Much appreciated, man. Always appreciate the support. Did you make Kalita meta? That's the question, Happy Puppy. Did you?
In your name.
There it is. There it is. Fun, fun. Appreciate you guys a lot. Yeah. Interesting discussion going on in my Discord about Spirit Leech versus Fireball right now. Samurai Warrior comes in with a wild Vampire Counts pick, potentially. Well, they haven't really decided on their factions yet, so we'll see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree, Happy Puppy. Maybe, I don't know. It was an interesting one, for sure. Maybe it's just tough, because more of a front line against Greenskins is just kind of playing into their hand, in a way. Like, your Tomb Guard are not really going to win regardless against Biggins, so it's kind of a weird situation. Maybe, yeah, the melee Ushab D2 even, though, will kind of just get pounded. I don't know. Maybe Tomb Scorpion was the right idea, like you had before, for some extra terror. I don't know. Tomb Guard just lose to Biggins, though, don't they? Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it was actually the Wolf Chariots getting on your archers. Like, maybe if you had... The problem is, he just had a lot of mobility between the Spiders and the Wolf Chariots. It was going to be tough to protect all those archers, but you kind of had to. I don't know. It's a good build from Tesla. The Wolf Chariots are a bit of a wild one. If you maybe could have had some, like, Carrion or something to chase them off, or, I don't know, just maybe more mobile mass. I mean, you had, what, 3 horsemen? 4 skeleton horsemen? They had their hands full with Spider Riders, so, yeah, I don't know. They get 3 heals, they live. Interesting. Interesting. I haven't tested it, I'll be honest. I just, from the raw stats and from my own experience, like 1v1 tests, I should say I haven't done. In my own battle experience, they lose, but... Yeah, Screaming... Yeah, that is a good point, though. Screaming Skull would have probably been a pretty good pick here. Is the Stalkers enough for 2 giants, though? Is it really? Maybe you just bring only 2 skeleton archers on foot instead of the 4 you had, and that would allow you to take a little bit more meat. I don't know. It's an interesting one. It's not a matchup that I have a ton of experience, recent experience, I should say, from the Tomb King side. I should probably change the map, huh? Let's see here. Let's go... that's 2 rush factions. Let's go Troll Country. ROR can kill both? Yeah. I was thinking they might not have enough ammo. See you, Zach? Yeah, like, just, I think 2 extra archers just in case would be nice insurance. Probably a little overkill, but that way if they do get a hold of something and end up tying it down for a little bit of time, that you're not completely hosed. I don't know, I'd have to workshop it a little bit. It's an interesting one. Honestly, maybe some Tomb King chariots for anti-infantry. Anyway. Yeah, 4 archers and screaming stalkers, no. Yeah, I would say less archers, for sure. Less archers. Like only maybe 1 or 2. Anyway, let's go ahead and have a look here. I hear the Green Tide calling out. So let's take a look at what they've got here. Warzag again. No, Grom the Paunch on a chariot. I've seen this pick quite a bit against the vampire counts. I guess just because Grom's pretty tanky. And he's got immune to psychology while he's in melee. So he can kind of tank damage here and be a decent damage dealer also. We've got some Savage Biggins in the front. 4 of them. 1 Savage Arrow Boy, 2 Savage, 3 Savage Arrow Boys, 2 Stone Trolls, a couple of Gobos, a River Troll Hag, Mangy Marauders. Pretty good stuff. I'm a little bit worried about his ability to kill this Mortis Engine, though. We've got 1 Mortis Engine, Corpse Cart, just a regular Corpse Cart, Blood Dragon, Vampire Lord, Banshee, a couple of Cryptors, Zombies, Sternsmen right in the center, Black Knights, Barracks Reavers. So some resources kind of spread around here. Mortis Engine will have to be mostly just careful of the archers, but if you can like summon zombies and do other things to bog down these savage archers, then the Mortis Engine will be able to get a lot of work done. That being said, they will chew through zombie summons even. They'll take a little damage in the process because they only have 8 melee defense, but they punch pretty hard. I mean, 24 attack, 32 with Frenzy, and their weapon strength goes up to 39, which is very solid for a quote-unquote skirmish unit. Is the stream cutting out for you guys? Let's see. I'm not showing any drop frames on my side. I don't know. Anyway, engagement's about to kick off here. The Savage Orcs are kind of shifting over obliquely to help deal with this. Gotta be careful. The Stone Trolls might be lining up to try and take out these Black Knights and so on, but right now, Savage Orcs are going to take some damage on the charge from those Cryptors. They did not get a counter charge, unfortunately, and it is not great. Savage Orcs actually have a really nice charge bonus. You definitely want to get charges on them whenever you can. Like here, they're going to counter charge into the Black Knights, and you see the counter charge damage there, actually. The charge bonus, very legit from the Savage Orcs. So right now they're doing okay. The Savage Orc Error Fire is definitely doing its thing. And there's something coming down here. What is this? Assault of Stone? Oh yeah, nicely done from the Troll Hag. She uses that item right off the bat. Does a decent amount of damage to the Sternsmen. They are mostly going to avoid that though. Over here, the Stone Trolls and the Savages not having a great time against all these single entities. The Banshee does magic damage and obviously causes terror, so she'll chew through those Savage Biggins in a hurry. Also, the Stone Trolls over here are getting Helm of Discorded and are also at risk of getting terrified. Grom's doing a good job, though. He gets a nice charge. Wow, look at all that damage on the corpse cart. That is actually really intense. Grom doing some good DPS there. But the Savage Airboys are starting to get pressured. You can see the Crypt Horrors shifting over here. These Biggins definitely need to come over and bail them out. And like all these troops over on this side that had defended from the cavalry attack, now also coming to resecure the archers. Definitely good stuff there. Grom's got to be a little bit careful he doesn't get stepped on by the dragon, and the mass of the Crypt Horrors will be important for pinning him in place, potentially. Here, these Stone Trolls get terrified away. A lot of free damage there, and great job with these Crypt Horrors by Samurai Warrior chasing off the Biggins. Yeah, Stone Trolls here definitely need to get in combat. But the 8-peak Loons taking the charge right to the face, that's totally fine. They actually don't take a lot of damage there because the Vampires are charging through the rear of their own units, and, I mean, they're unbreakable poison gobos, so they'll be just fine in that fight. Stone Trolls get a good charge in over here. The Hag plus the Biggins and the Focus Fire now as well from the Archers, doing a little bit of friendly damage to the River Troll Hag there, but man, that unit was disintegrating for a long time. That Crypt Horror is kind of hilarious to me. But things are still very, very even, I would say. Over here, great job with these Varix Reavers to try and finish off those Stone Trolls, make sure they get chased off. Biggins still doing some damage with the Reavers with their regeneration, have already tanked out a lot of damage, pretty close to their healing cap, actually. Black Knight's going to come over here and pressure, and basically the name of the game at this point is to try and just use up the Archer's ammo if you can, and not get the Mortis Engine killed, more or less. It still has plenty of healing cap space left, so if you can keep it alive, it can drain out all of these units, and there's still a good amount of ammo left for these Savage Orc Air Boys. But the melee fight is really not going to go well for the Vampires at this point. They've got some Horrors left, but the Knights are mostly out of steam now. Even the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord with his Helm of Discord can't swing that melee fight when there's nothing to fight. Just some summoned zombies now at this point, and the two Banshees, I guess. But yeah, the Mortis Engine takes a ton of damage. Corpse Cart's already gone down now, and looking pretty good for the Greenskins at this point. Banshee's coming to fight these Savage Orcs, and the Mortis Engine desperately trying to get away. These Varix Reavers do come secure here. Nice downhill charge. Will that actually do damage? Killed a few models outright there. The Savage Orc Biggins will start to punch back pretty hard, though. But nice pick here. Very nice pick. This is how he can get back in the game. From the Paunch takes a few huge attacks from the Blood Dragon Lord. Blood Dragon, unfortunately, though, gets staggered up by the River Troll Hag. 8-peak Loons also. He wants Grom's number, and Grom at this point is hurting pretty bad. The Banshees get zoned by the Stone Trolls here, and now the Stone Trolls get Stagger Lock and a bit of a surround with the Troll Hag on the Blood Dragon, and he's going to have a hard time bailing out of that. Hopefully he's got a Helm of Discord in his back pocket, otherwise this is going to be a disastrous engagement. But yeah, right now the Air Boys free to fire still, and these Mangy Marauders come over to fight the Mortis Engine in melee, and the Mangy Marauders are actually immune to psychology, and they don't have the worst combat stats in the world, considering they're an ROR, so they actually take out the Mortis Engine, true heroes of the Greenskins. Chosen of Gork and Mork right here. Probably one of the best RORs in the game. Even though they're literally just an armor-piercing Wolf Rider Archer, but that immune to psychology as well is quite nice, and they prove their dividends there. At this point, Samurai Vampires can't sustain. Oh man, that was a nice kind of front flip death animation there for the Blood Dragon. And that's Tesla's second victory now. Greenskin's probably one of the best factions in the game, so I'd expect him to go far should he choose to continue playing them. Oh, nope. Yes. There we go. Good stuff. Yeah, the Biggins absolutely mopping up in the front line. Grom ended up almost getting killed there, but tanked just enough to get it done. I really like the pick of the Stone Trolls, obviously, in every matchup. Crypt Horrors, it ended up being a bit of an interesting matchup specifically there, but I think Samurai's lack of Blood Knights ended up kind of coming to bite him in the end. Blood Dragon's really good, but he's very expensive, and he kind of precludes you from going with a little bit of a wider force, which against Greenskins, I feel, you definitely want to do that as much as you can. Like, you want to always be able to chase their units off and just have more units than them. These armies are technically the same number of units, but a less model count for Samurai Warrior, probably. I mean, the zombies kind of pad that out a little bit, but it's an interesting one. GG. Next up is Legion. Legion 0. Let's get that going there. We'll switch to Toothgrass Hill. Yeah, I think Stone Trolls probably get a nerf. I think they might... I don't know what they would do. Maybe just reduce their magic and missile resistance a little bit. Yeah, our air boys are crazy cost effective. They're crossbows, basically. The thing about it is they do have low accuracy, yes, but against big monsters that tends not to matter as much. They are so strong, though. Alright, just send it on Discord, Legion, so I'm gonna go make a quick phone call. I'll be right back while you're joining and while things are getting set up, so bear with me, guys, just a second. Ah. Oh, wicked. That's a good one. uh... Yeah, I mean, they could even just reduce their melee defense a little bit to make them less tanky in melee. A lot of time, and that's true, Happy Puppy. Like, if you have the right melee tools, you don't. Um, oh, now Undead Squirrel. Okay, but yeah, you'd be a lot less scared if you have the right melee tools, which really is halberds. Like, halberds actually counter monstrous infantry very well as a unit type. But yeah. Yeah, you can still tear route them pretty easy. Or just route them in general, even if they do have the immune to psychology from, like, Bob or something. It doesn't take a lot to route them. Sea Train. So basically, the king just fights for their position. It's a bit like a title belt, really. Like, challengers come. I've got a list of challengers, and, yeah, they come one by one, and the person who wins stays, the person who loses goes, and you just try and stay and hold the crown as long as you can. Classic King of the Hill. So right now, Happy Puppy has the most wins at 4. Tesla, current king, has 2 wins. So Queen of the Hill, yeah, Happy Puppy definitely was queen. 4 games, absolute reign of terror. Alright. Tesla getting his Greenskins pick locked in. We're going to be seeing another Greenskins versus Tomb Kings. Let's see what we can do. We were talking about builds earlier. Legion was talking about some potential builds he thought might be good here, so let's see what he does. Alright. Alright, let's see what we got here. Greenskins, again rolling Grom Lepanche. And we've got a couple Black Orcs here, 3 Black Orcs even, Orc Arrow Boys, Spider Riders, 4 Spider Riders, Rusty Arrows, 8 Peak Loons, 2 Doom Divers, and a Night Goblin Shaman for the Kings of Tomb. Kepper Guard, couple Skelly Spears up front, Scorpion Legion is one of them. Yes, this one here in the center. Got Cetra on his Kitten. Necrotect, Screaming Meme. It's definitely not a meme anymore. Dushabti, Chosen of the Gods, and a Tomb Scorpion. So the Chosen of the Gods, kind of the anti-infantry choice here, will be good against Black Orcs for sure. See how good. Catapult will also be decent against the Black Orcs, but on the flip side, this Doom Diver can choose to target a number of high-value targets and start to deal significant damage right off the bat. 2 Doom Divers even. So yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, in a straight-up artillery fight, obviously 2 Doom Divers will beat the 1 Screaming Meme, so probably Legion's going to have to push forward here. Good old Algabo armies. Honestly, it's still very good, if not better than ever. Especially since Skarsnik has Vanguard and is actually, like, meta now. The Night Goblin Warboss even is also very good. He also has Fungi plus Tormentor Sword, so he almost has, like, double snare in a way. Not quite, but kinda. He is super squishy, though. Just die immediately to most things. Not great stats. He's decently fast, but he's not that fast because he's only on a squig. So it's a risky pick, but it's a fun pick. Very strong ability set. Abilities and items and so on. Alright, let's see these players sizing each other up at first. The Screaming Meme and the Chosen of the Gods probably immediately going to go for the Black Orcs up front. Black Orcs are kind of leading here. But you probably just want to keep them back as much as possible. Yeah, you see Tesla does kind of peel them here. Doom Divers are going to come into range, and probably they'll want to focus the Chosen of the Gods or the Screaming Meme. The Chosen of the Gods is going to be a little bit of a better target at first, but you can see Cetra kind of peels around the forest here. Try and avoid some of the fire if he can. Right now, he is not being targeted by the Doom Divers. Screaming Meme is in range to open up, though. Going to start dealing some damage to these Black Orcs. Get some okay contact there. A little bit of damage. Didn't even kill any models, actually. Is, you know, credit to the Black Orcs. They've got a lot of HP per model. Some thick boys. But now they finally bleed one model off. Nice. Vindictive Glare does blow up one of the artillery models there. Legion tried to drop the artillery pieces, but didn't quite do it in time. And now Grom's starting to run paunch. Ha, get it? Yeah, on the front line, and the Black Orcs also coming forward now. Black Orcs, 29 charge bonus, pretty solid considering they already have 50 weapon damage. Not the most attack in the world unsupported, but should be okay. Grom comes in, nice little kind of line break here, and Chosen of the Gods switch to him, which is not super efficient for them. They definitely want to be shooting infantry only. They're not nearly as good at shooting large as even the regular Shabti Great Bows, but right now, things are okay. These Black Orcs kind of getting crumped in the front line as the zombies, or sorry, the Scorpion and the Shabti all collapse. Cetra as well, just a big old nasty blob fight. Cetra do a lot of damage to Grom. Grom's going to have to nope out of there, which he does. Scorpion almost gets into the second line of archers already. And looks like the Chosen of the Gods actually switching onto the Error Boys, which is an interesting play to just shut down the range tools. I guess just relying on Cetra's melee kind of goon blob here to win the infantry fight eventually. But right now, the Scorpion, the thing about this Orc Error line is they can kind of, you know, continue to kite and fight here and get consistent damage on the Scorpion. A little bit of a misplay by Tesla, though. These Doom Divers are overshooting right now on the Screaming Skull. They definitely want to switch targets onto probably Cetra here and just start pressuring him. Even the Scorpion as well might not be a bad play. Spider Riders coming out a little bit late now to start to push this back, but this is nice. Spider Riders here are going to get on these Chosen of the Gods. Even if they end up losing out because of armor and fear, they might end up doing some good damage. Regardless, they'll keep those Chosen of the Gods tied down for a decent amount of time, letting the Black Orcs get to work, and now the Waz popped. These Black Orcs will just finish mopping that skeleton, and now the Kepler Guard are going to be the subject of many chops. Get the big important engagement in the background here so we can kind of pay attention to what's going on. Cetra and the Scorpion fighting side by side. The Archers still having a hard time disengaging, but also not dead yet. More Archers coming back over there. So it's anyone's game at this point. Spider Riders here will get fended off by the Spearmen eventually. This engagement's not amazing. The fact that these Black Orcs are kind of having to fight two Shabti at the same time. If he could throw, like, even just a sneaky stabbing, I don't know. He does have sneaky stabbing. On this Black Orc would be perfect. I don't know the cooldown on that right now. Looks like he used it on Grom the Paunch there instead to go after Cetra directly. And look at that. Grom actually gets some decent damage there on Cetra. Blessed Blade of Petra will debuff once he gets hit. And Grom does take a hit there. Keep in mind as well, the fire damage gives him a damage spike, so that Grom will take additional damage due to his regeneration trait. But Cetra actually pulls away there. I definitely think he should have stayed and tried to finish out that engagement. But despite the WA, these Black Orcs may end up losing out at the end of the day. Cetra did come in and do some decent damage there. Unbreakable 8-peak loons, though, still defending the back line here. And somehow these Doom Divers are still online. The Archers are trying to fight skeletons in melee, which actually they're doing a decent job of considering their stats. I'd say they were winning combat momentarily there. But let's see kind of an overarching look. Tomb King's definitely assaulting the defensive position pretty hard here. The fact that all these single models are still fighting is a big deal. Like the Scorpion, you know, Cetra, all have taken damage, but none of them have been focused down. It's very, very important here. Shabti Summon has now been popped to try and move in and finish off these Doom Divers, so a little bit of a risky situation for Tesla to be in. Grom almost routs there, pops Lucky Banner and the wall, so helping to stabilize him a little bit. He's going to peel back, go after some of those chariots. The Black Orcs eventually in the front line do end up losing out. Very cost effective for the Kepler Guard there. And Cetra obviously with some great timely support, and it looks like Tesla going to get knocked out before he can get too far. Happy Puppy probably will rule the day, I'm guessing. I don't think I think Legion does have enough opponents. Yeah, just enough. He could, if he runs the whole gauntlet, he could take it. Let's see, game's not over yet. Doom Divers are technically still firing, and as Grom heals, and if he can outlast the Summon Ushabti, then the balance of power will stabilize pretty significantly here. Likewise, the Air Boys kind of getting back here. These Black Orcs, oh man, Cetra was chasing those Black Orcs, and they just came back as well. But Grom's got to be careful. Right now, he's going to potentially be pinned in by all these Ushabti, and Cetra's coming. The Necrotech's also coming. But yeah, he needs to pull out of that engagement, and I'm not sure if Tesla sees the angle of it right here. He's got to pull through those Spider Riders there. But it looks like the Doom Divers, regardless, shut down. No, not quite. Somehow still the Archers fighting, and the Night Goblin Shaman, 25 kills in melee, and from other sources as well. But yeah, looks like he's can kind of pull through the Spider Riders there. Yeah, a little bit. You can kind of pull through your own friendly troops somewhat. But the Spider Riders are just about to give up the fight. The Black Orcs are here. Grom's on his last legs, but a nice little side charge there into the Kepler Guard. Does a lot of damage. We'll see. Look at this. Ushabti looks like they might have switched off the Doom Diver, but no, the Doom Diver is in fact the main target there. And I think with the Doom Diver going down, that is basically going to be game. I mean, these Black Orcs could have potentially done something, but not really. Yeah, the wall change is an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I still think it's better now than it was before, because having it shut down on your Lord, like just Techless or like Kotep especially, just hard trolling you all day, was pretty frustrating. You just like straight up couldn't get it in some matchups. So I am a fan of the change, but at the same time, it does kind of suck that you have to work up to it. And depending on like your army size and model count, kind of incentivizes you go with more of a horde basis, right? Because I know it's dependent on your total model count or total unit count. I can't remember one of the two, but still charges up faster with like 120 goblins fighting, as long as they can keep fighting. Maybe. Cetra actually is a good choice. With the Blessed Blade on his kitten, he will do a ton of damage to Stone Trolls because he does fire damage technically. So let's go ahead and get the next competitor. It's going to be Davina. And we'll go ahead and switch the map here. Let's get... Oh, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Should we go Schwarzhofen? Decent one. Classic map. I don't know. For me, like that kind of a direct hard counter is just really sad. I mean, maybe they rework WA to where you can use it right off the bat, and then maybe it takes a lot more to charge it up to use it a second time or something. I don't know, but like honestly, in some matchups it was oppressive. Most factions though have access to some kind of ability recharge timer, whether it's a scroll or you know, some spell or ability or something else, a specific lord. Almost everyone could do it, and it's, yeah, if players knew what they were doing, it was just really tough. Greenskins are definitely a little bit too strong right now, but I mean, they were secretly very strong before. People just didn't play them that much because they kind of have the Lord weaknesses, and that's still kind of a thing. I mean, we've seen today Grom can take a lot of damage if he gets caught out. He's tanky, but he's not quite as tanky as Volkmar. Does a lot more damage in melee, but yeah, they do still have weaknesses, and the low leadership is still overall a weakness, right? Like, their average leadership on their units is not good. Probably one of the worst in the game. Like Skaven, Beastmen, Greenskins. It'd be interesting to just do an aggregate of the leadership of all their units. Probably Skaven would be lowest, but maybe not. Maybe Greenskins would be lowest. Beastmen, because they have spawn, that kind of skews the results a little bit. Because, like, Greenskins and Skaven have very limited breakable units. I don't know, though. Skaven actually have some really high leadership units, too. Greenskins, I mean, like, even Black Orcs, they're immune to psychology, yes, but their leadership is... it's good, it's not amazing. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not too worried. The thing is, Greenskins are a very well-balanced faction in terms of their roster from the tabletop, so they were always going to be one, if they were tuned correctly, they'd be very strong in the hands of a skilled player. Wood Elves and all the DLCs pretty much have stayed within a faction's design. Like, they give them extra tools, but in Greenskins, Lords are all still, you know, relatively squishy. The whole faction still has like lowish leadership, right? And yeah, undead factions have quote unquote low leadership too, but I discount all of them because the leadership is kind of a weird mechanic for them. And we have undead on undead here, which is just fantastic. I'm gonna put that off for now, but yeah, the Wood Elves, though, I think that they're going to stay within their design. That they'll, if they do get more melee units, I think they'll be fast and hard-hitting, but squishy. Like, whatever Lords, Heroes, whatever they do, I mean, I'm assuming it will all still fall into the, yeah, into the design of the Wood Elves. Like the Skaven stuff has been mostly from their tabletop, right? Like the Dark Elves, the High Elves, the Lizardmen. For all the DLCs, they've stayed in a faction's like main design, right? So yeah, being able to refill Way Watchers would break them. Yeah. I honestly would be fine with them like nerfing the missile damage and buffing the melee stats of Way Watchers a little bit. Maybe even increasing their cost a tiny bit. It's just, they need other tools to be able to rely on. And their melee tools are good right now, but they're not as good as they should be. So for me, like, I'm hoping for some melee units. I'll be honest. But they should be fast, hard-hitting, and relatively squishy. Unless we get the attack trees from Age of Sigmar with swords. In which case, I'm down also, to be honest, just because that's awesome. Or how about the bow, the badass like bow trees from Age of Sigmar? Honestly, that's probably one of the cooler things about Age of Sigmar is those models. I have no idea about the lore of them, but I think they're like the Durthu's angry children or something. I don't know. Anyway, builds here. We've got an Aero Titan. We've got Tomb Prince, and what is that? Arcan? Tomb Prince and a Lich Priest. Oh, I don't know what's going on over there. Who's the Lord? It is High Queen Kalita, just chilling in the back for now. Necropolis Knights with halberds. We've got Eyes of the Desert here. We've got, yeah, Skeleton Spears, Carrion. On the side of the Vampire Counts, a couple Graveguard in the center, some Blood Knights, very strong in this matchup. More Graveguard with great weapons, so 4 Graveguard with great weapons, 2 Blood Knights. Heinrich on horseback, bunch of zombies, corpse cart support, and a couple of White Kings, and they use their Scab's Craft to devastating effect against those Nehekar warriors. Actually, not the Kepler Guard. Okay. Yeah, probably should be paying attention to that. But the Aero Titan is going to be an interesting play. The Blood Knights are really having a tough time. The Tomb Prince can, as long as he doesn't get, like, supercharged by them, he should be fine, and he's actually chewed off a few models already there. Kalita also potentially coming over to help out, but this side pocket presence here with the Hero Titan is looking pretty good. Necropolis Knights do have to be careful, though. They're not going to be as strong as the Blood Knights, but we already have the Shabti summon popping off, which means this a lot of the meat of this Tomb King's army just got mulched, absolutely just run over by Graveguard and so on in the front line, which is to be expected. I mean, Tomb King's infantry is definitely not enough, and I think that's going to spell the end of them here. Count's Blood Knights are just so strong in this matchup. You can see they've carried hard here, even though they're originally taking some significant damage on that one engagement. Triple Blood Knights is so ridiculous here. We'll see, though. Aero Titan is going to continue fighting along with High Queen Kalita, and they are both almost completely healthy, but at the end of the day, if they're just fighting a giant horde of, you know, zombies and stuff, I don't think... Has Krell been summoned? I don't know if I've seen him. Oh, he's here. No? These are just the regular White Kings? I don't know. Somehow the balance of power is still very, very even. I guess just because Kalita's so healthy. But if the Aero Titan can kind of tank some damage now, Kalita forces the Blood Knights into a bit of a blob. And we've got some kind of incantation of desiccation going down here. The Eyes of the Desert also come over. It looks like they're going to try and blast the Blood Knights potentially, or whatever else. Here comes Krell, though. I was wondering when we would see Krell get summoned, and now that these high-value single entities, that all count as large, surrounded by Blood Knights, Krell's going to come in and deliver a beatdown to Kalita. It's going to be nasty stuff. So, tough day. Titan time. Yeah, Titan time, but also... This is a weird matchup for Tomb Kings, because Vampire Counts have very clearly better healing, better cavalry, and better infantry. And, like, probably the same tier of monsters. They don't have any missiles, but they are also very good at disrupting missiles. So Tomb Kings, they have some good units and tools in this matchup. Historically, the construct units have sometimes been hard for Vampire Counts to kill, but not so much anymore. Absolute zombie horde. Yep, it's good, man. Zombies are probably one of the best units in the game. They're definitely best in class for, like, true chaff. Like 100 to 200 point units. So what is that? Like Skaven slaves, peasants, and zombies. Basically, that's it. And out of all of those, I would say definitely zombies are the best. There's no question. I mean, they cause fear and they're basically unbreakable. I think they have the most HP, too, of any unit in that class, which is kind of the point for them to soak damage. So, yeah, tough run for Davina. But the triple Blood Knight just coming in way too strong. And, yeah, this is a very just up front build. 3 Blood Knights, 4 Graveguard with great weapons. Intense. So, next up here, we're going to get Killarinu. All right. Let's see here. I mean, it's undead versus undead, so... it's a weird one. Should probably update the scoreboard now as well. Lee Gone is now up to 2 wins as well. Just had to use a Titan. Yeah, it was a fun one. Titan's just so much resources wrapped up into one place and it's low, so it's tough. It's real tough. Honestly, if you had played that a little bit more narrow and just got like Tomb Guard with halberds, played like a box around the Arrow Titan, maybe that would have worked better. I don't know though. It's definitely a weird one. All right, all right. All right, all right. Through some things here. Oh, now going with the Coast. It's triple undead. Accidentally clicked on his build so you can see it now, so we'll go ahead and throw Dancing Warzag back up. Everybody loves Dancing Warzag. Dancing Warzag, why aren't you playing as a video? What's going on, Warzag? Where'd you go? There we go. Ooh, Killerinu going actually with High Elves. Okay, okay. Let's see what they will do. It's an interesting matchup. High Elves, I would say, out of all the elves, probably have the best time here. Wood Elves also have an okay matchup here, but they can... they're gonna have some issues. Wood Elves, or High Elves, most well-balanced. Like, you've got bolt throwers, you've got archers, you got a lot of stuff. A lot of tools. Handmaidens even can be decent here. I really wish Handmaidens did more missile damage, though. Their missile damage is so sad. So low. Even in campaign, they just don't do anything, really, with their missiles. You know, Will LaForce, the Amazons is free, right? If you... I think it is still, or maybe... I'd have to look. I want to say it's free, though, right? From what I heard. If you, like, register for Total War Access within a specific time frame, like they're giving it away for free for a limited time, kind of like they did with the base game. Yeah, I have a key for Amazons. I actually haven't played it much, so I can't give you my thoughts. But I will be streaming it at some point when I can. You kidding? Look at him jam into this tune right now. He's just absolutely mobbing. Putting on a show. All his hype men in the background. Yeah, there we go. Amazon's free from September 24th to October 8th. Yeah, it comes out right on the 24th. Yeah, hopefully we get a Wood Elves DLC trailer within the next couple weeks. I really want that to come out as soon as possible. Yeah. Crusader Kings is also, I don't know if you picked that up or if you're interested in that at all, but Crusader Kings, I am going to be real. I've been very addicted to that game. Might even be streaming more of it later today. We'll see. But let's take a look at some builds. We'll start with the Disgusting Undead. We've got Double Crab Noctilus, which is quite strong here. I like that a lot. Mortars, 2 mortars, the Halberd protecting bombers, and Gunzos. Deckhands up front, double dogs. Yeah, the double crab is quite strong. Crabs are notoriously hard for the high elves to kill. But this is a build. This is definitely a build. There's 3 white lions, 3 rangers, some silver helms. I don't know about the silver helms. A lion chariot I actually really like to pick here. For the missile resistance, and it does great armor piercing damage. Will actually be okay at cycle charging the crabs. 2 nobles on horseback, and Larry L. the Radiant. Yeah, the Crusader Kings 3, see, I don't have any frame of reference because I never played, for whatever reason, somehow I've never played a Paradox game until Crusader Kings 3. So, like, I don't really have any frame of reference as for mechanics that it's lacking or anything. I just know that I'm very addicted to it and it's a ton of fun. I've been trying out a bunch of different starts recently to just see, like, what other campaigns I would want to potentially stream, or, like, you know, good challenge runs. Maybe not even to stream, but just to record episodes. But yeah, CK2 with all the DLC, from what I understand, is very complete. So Europa Universalis 2 is one that I like. I have that in my Steam library. I don't have all the DLC, but I have some, and that's something that I do plan on streaming as well at some point in the future. Crusader Kings 2, the nice thing about that is I think it's free now, the base game, right? And there's tons and tons of mods for it. I'm super excited. I haven't really been following the mod scene at all for Crusader Kings 3, but I'm assuming you know, all those mods are going to get ported over. And I think there's even like Warhammer mods and stuff. If there is Warhammer mods, I'll end up playing for sure, campaign of that. I think even like Elder Scrolls 2, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, all that stuff. Game of Thrones especially fits very well into the kind of Crusader Kings vibe. Oh, I realize he went triple filthy undead just for me. Which, you know, I feel a little honored in a way. Look at these disgusting zombies. At least these zombies have guns, though, which is kind of fun. Like, things that go boom are definitely fun. I think we can agree. Even if they are crewed by disgusting filth. Look at this guy. Look at these things. Absolute filth. Mortar shots coming in immediately. Going to make some decent contact. Yeah, surprisingly good contact on those rangers. Still only kills like 6 models, though. The physical resistance does help out somewhat there. Right off the bat, Lion Chariot's going to be pushing up and around the flanks. You can see the crabs come to kind of counter the nobles there. Larry's going to have to be careful. She's way out on the other side of these guys, so if they end up getting caught in a bad engagement, taking a lot of damage, she's not going to be able to heal them very quickly. But let's see. The bombers will pretty well shred the rangers if they just run in here, so Hilarinu might want to just like hold back for a second and wait for his other units to get into position, but looks like he is going to go straight up the pipe here. And, you know, maybe the bombers don't have as long of range as I thought, but they are going to come forward. And if he can switch over there to the bombers, actually do damage to them. Mortars coming in, doing some nice damage to the White Lions. Silverhelms and Larry still pulling up around the flank there. But it looks like Rangers, surprised they didn't go directly after the bombers there. I think they actually could have maybe got into the bombers, but infantry engagement kind of a little bit disjointed right now. It's a dangerous situation for the High Elves to be in. Definitely need to concentrate all their forces here at the same time. Like Silverhelms do have shields. They can charge in here and potentially block some of the fire and get on those handguns, start to shut them down. Crabs are kind of switching places as well. The Lion Chariot comes to devour the hounds. It'll take them some time to do so, though, and this Noble, in the meanwhile, is going to take a lot of free damage from the guns. The guns should be focusing characters, basically, primarily. These Reavers come in to shut down the mortars there, but the infantry line's already taking quite a bit of damage, all things considered. Shield of Thorns for some extra physical resistance there, and White Lines will be able to do some okay damage on the crab if they can get a square engagement. Those handguns finally taking a charge there, and it looks like the Noble does get through past these handguns. Still a lot of damage, though, regardless. The Lion Chariot's finally going to get home over there and start to disrupt them, but it might be too little too late in terms of saving that other Noble. L'Ariel needs to use her healing probably already on that Noble there, and the other one's also pulling around. That being said, the Rangers are starting to cut through along with the White Lions, despite the best efforts of the Bombers. Bombers over here getting completely inundated and just taken out, which is great. But White Lions now, you see this is like a decent situation for them. They can get some okay armor-piercing attacks in here, and the Noble's also concentrating. We'll probably see a Star of Averlorn popped over here relatively soon. The Silver Helm push, though, in the back line's pretty real right now. A little bit of Elf Tonia action going on. Bombers are going to toss their bombs in here, but this mortar crew is also taking some of that damage as well. And there comes the Star of Averlorn. Oh no, but this Noble, he's actually moved out of the area of effect and definitely wants to, pull back in there, get that healing on the Noble. It also getting the healing on the White Lions and the Rangers. Not too bad there. It's a little bit of free goodies, more or less. But yeah, the zombies starting to crumble, and if it turns into just crabs versus like Knights and Nobles, the Knights and Nobles are going to be able to take this. The Lion Chariot also completely healthy at this point as well. Some extra physical resistance from Shield of Thorns. Completely untouched, and as I mentioned, the Lions cycle charging the crabs can actually do something. I mean, with their 70 charge, 56 armor piercing damage, and good splash animations, they'll do it, as they say. And it looks like this Rotting Leviathan is now crumbling, goes to reunify, kind of join forces with this other crab here, and they're going to just roll out hard. They can't really get held down by all these infantry, obviously, so they're going to try and unify with Noctilus. But nice Earthblood actually does catch that Noble and the Chariot and these Rangers. L'Ariel's coming in to blast with some light. More gun summons. Noctilus trying to stabilize the situation, but the Lion Chariots, man, 90 kills in an XP Chevron. Pretty decisive. Killerinu, although he did take a lot of damage on the approach there, ended up being a very, very potent melee force once it all got going. Silverhelm flank in particular with the shields is quite good. They've also got a ton of kills, 147 kills on climbing. XP Chevron there. White Lions fighting in the front line along with Rangers. I actually have used a build similar to this in the past where you just spam Lions and Rangers, and it actually does good because the physical resistance of the Rangers, the missile resistance of the White Lions, you get some decent AP too to fight crabs and stuff from the White Lions. And here, Killerinu mixing in some extra Silver Helms. Nobles on horseback obviously can also fight crabs very well. The Lion Chariot too has missile resistance, right? So I actually really like this build here. The extra physical resistance from L'Ariel just stacks on top of that to where a lot of these units are taking minimal damage, or as minimal damage as possible at least, against any kind of missile attacks. So at this point, Noctilus will try and tank it as best he can, but I mean, it's just a matter of time. And speaking of tanking, get that nice Star of Averlorn healing, especially on the Lion Chariots. They can soak up all that right there, along with these Silver Helms here, and just keep fighting. One crab down. Nocti, I mean, he's got quite a bit of defense, but if he gets surrounded by Lion Infantry, they have enough. They've gained martial prowess back if they lost it at some point, but these guys, especially 38 attack, yeah, it looks like that will be game. Hey, thanks, Gobble Slayer, appreciate it. Much appreciated. Yeah, High Elf Rush is strong versus Coast. It's true. It's true. Like, a lot of people will expect High Elves to go with the Archer-centric builds, which also can work, especially with Plague of Rust. But here, man, great build from Killerinu. He's come in to my streams recently and had some awesome builds that I'm been huge fans of. So Yeah, great stuff with the Rangers, great stuff with the Silver Helms, Lion Chariots. For Legion, aka Undead Squirrel here, I like the build quite a bit. The mortars, plus everything, I mean, it is a lot to try and protect, but it's basically meta, I would say, more or less. But you are lacking a little bit in counter cavalry tools, so maybe you consider cutting one of the mortars and trying to bring a carronade as well. That would help thin out these Silver Helms pretty efficiently. Still have a problem with the Lion Chariot too, though. It's just something to account for now, definitely, in this matchup. Full melee depth guard. There we go. Full depth guard with halberds. Alright, so Killer Inu takes the crown. Now Golden Eagle is up. Get the UI updated here. GG's though, Legion. Even though you were playing Filthy Undead, still good play regardless. Solid stuff. And there's that. And then we got this here. Yes. Good, good, good. Yeah, I would think that the Lions, I mean, I don't know how the Lions trade actually against Depth Guard. That's an interesting one. Probably the Depth Guard will win just because of hunger, but yeah, I mean, I would still think the Chariots would just kill all of the Depth Guard, because, I mean, unless you have, like, mass to tie them down, you honestly probably need Rotting Prometheans to stop the Chariots, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, that's probably your only really safe bet, because none of your other units can really, like, stop them in terms of mass. You could maybe take Animated Hulks, but they're just terrible, so the problem is that, I don't know, will the Lions will do some good damage to the Prometheans in return, and likewise, I think Prometheans just lose straight up to White Lions, the Lion Infantry, I should say. Depth Guard win, I would hope so. But yeah, Lamprey's Revenge for sure. I was going to say, the ROR, at least for one kind of tanky block unit, those Lion Chariots are legit in that matchup. Some ghouls. Ghouls are always good. Ghouls are always good, for sure. Even still, though, like a good clean open field charge, granted, you want to have zombie support like always, but if Silver Helms get a good open charge on Mournghouls, they will do a lot of damage to them. Mournghouls don't have much defense or armor, so like actually hard-hitting melee units can tear them apart sometimes. Hunger is a thing, though. Definitely very, very strong mechanic for them. Oh, waiting for the map. Oh, geez, my bad. Let's go Blue Reach River. If you can get contact, it does okay, but like, it counts as missile damage. I'm pretty sure it still counts as missile damage. So the Lion Chariots would be slightly more resistant to it. I'd have to test that, but I'm like 90% sure it counts as missile damage still. Yeah, unfortunately you don't have any. I say unfortunately, it'd be terrible if Coast had a hard snare, but you don't have any hard snares. You don't even, I mean, you have some speed control abilities, but not a ton. So, it's that. Dealing with those chariots is going to be tough. Five bloated corpses. That's a win automatically. Black Spot is still pretty good. I think that you should see them more, probably, but they are a little expensive for not having amazing melee stats. Like, in that build, though, they would have been a perfect unit to... for me, like, rather than taking like a pole arm to defend my my cannon, I'll take them to defend the cannon, because then like a light horseman unit or even like a heavy cavalry unit, it's gonna have a bad time against them. Like, it's just not gonna be great for them to charge in. And if they just kind of stand off, then you can shoot back, right? So it's kind of a multi-tool protection is what I use it as, is to protect my artillery. You know, that way if they come in and try and shoot my artillery, I can just shoot them with the black spot. If they try and charge it with some light, you know, fast, large units, hounds are still an issue in certain matchups, but you can deal with them in other ways. But yeah, that's... I mean, having them in just a gun line, like either protecting a flank or, you know, shoring up a specific place is pretty decent, but in my opinion, they're best at protecting artillery. They can get focused by other ranged units, though, and I mean, they're relatively expensive. It is a lot to be paying for that. Just regular zombie gun, considering the regulars are $550, which is very cost-effective. Well, yeah, Aranessa does. Yeah, but Aranessa is, you know, just there, kinda. No one uses her because she's actually alive and can rout, and therefore is objectively the worst of any of their lords because of that. Noctilus does have Miasma, but that's not really enough. I mean, it's only 24% speed, and you can't really stack anything. Like, you don't have poison missiles anywhere. Do Morgul's... I think, actually, no, the Haunter has a chilling aura, I want to say. So you can use the Haunter, actually, to control movements a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Doctor, exactly. Other guns, and just more guns is usually better to provide covering fire. But... like, if you're taking a build, for example, I've run builds in the past where I don't really have a gun line. I might have, like, only Queen Bess, for example, like, hidden behind something. Since it's a mortar-type artillery, you can shoot up and over terrain pieces and hills and stuff. So, you know, in that situation, like, I'll have the black spot to defend Queen Bess, and then, like, most of the rest of my army will be melee-focused. Like, I'll have, like, 4 dogs, like, 2 bats, obviously double gunny and the gun crab lord, because I'm a big fan of that combo. That's, I guess, a few more ranged units, but they're kind of all single entities as well. But yeah, in that build, I don't really have a gun line per se, and like I can option that out as well, option Queen Bess out for just like a carronade and take some other stuff. And in that build, like, I don't necessarily have a full gun line per se, so I don't use them in the gun line, but yeah, I mean, just going like 4 or 5 guns is arguably better and more cost effective. Oh yeah, like if you gave Aranessa to Bretonnia, oh man, she would automatically be one of the best lords for them, or any other faction. Any non-undead faction would love to have Aranessa. She would be automatically one of their best lords, by far. Great combat stats, snares very good. She's got decent other abilities as well. But yeah, that, and the fact that she's alive on an undead roster is a problem. Hidden 2 Morghuls instead of the Crabbo, that's a good one. Yeah. Give Dahui Aranessa's snares. Oh man, no. Let's go with a no on that one. Put her in the Norscan roster. There we go. Norska could use extra lords. They need caster lords is really what's the truth, though. So make her universal mercenary lord. That'd be cool for, like, maybe not universal, but for like a specific set of factions. That could be fun, kind of like how Gotrek and Felix are on a few different rosters. She would probably realistically fight for any of the non-Chaos factions. I don't know if she'd fight for the Chaos factions. Oh, she is Norskin. Okay. Okay. I thought she... Yeah, no, I don't know. I shouldn't talk about the lore because I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought she, like, really hates Norskins. Isn't there some specific thing there? So, yeah, I would say she probably won't side with any Chaos factions, but I think most other factions she would fight for, right? She's a Norskin mutant, yeah, but she also, I think, like, her tribe, like, cast her out because she was a mutant or something. And it seems kind of weird, you know, they're Chaos worshippers. You would think they'd be like, oh yeah, you have been blessed by the gods, clearly. But I guess they just cast them out. Send them off to the Chaos Warriors, but instead she got a grudge against Norskins and, I don't know, jumped into the ocean. Right now, she is like the main antagonist of Talea in the campaign. Because she starts out right next to them, and you're like, that's kind of your first main target is Talea. Yeah, see, I was gonna say, I thought there was something where she got like tossed out with the bathwater. The sea god. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. It was a Mathlan-related mutation. I see. It makes sense. It does make sense. Let's have a look at the Dark Elves here. Okay, so we're going to take Malekith on Cold One. Great stuff. Lore of Beasts. Sorceress. We've got one Executioner, a couple Corsairs, some Fear Spears, not Dread Knights, Cold One Knights. Crossbows, 2 Scourge Runners, nice balanced build. Got the Terror from the Manticore summon, which means you don't necessarily need to have Terror in the build itself, so you can go nice and wide here with Malekith on the ground. High Elves in return, interesting build here as well. 2 Reaver Archers, got some Silver Helms with shields, Dragon Princes, War Lions, so pretty all in with the cavalry. Just Rangers up front, couple of Lothern Seaguard for range support, a Noble, and Teclis. It's a lot of Cav Micro. Indeed, it is a lot of Cav Micro. It should be good, but the 3 Cold One Knights plus the Scourge Runner is going to potentially be a problem here. The 2 Scourge Runners even. Could be a problem for this cavalry-centric build. Rahagor's Pride could end up being the key factor. In terms of speed, these guys are 84. The Lions are actually only 82, so they can't catch the Scourge Runners. Mathlan, Manan, I mean, it's basically just elf and human name for the same thing, right? God of the Sea. I know they're technically different in the lore, because people in the universe believe they're different, but it's just the same thing, right? Let's be honest.
Snow blankets the earth.
What? Snow blankets the earth? Look around you. You are in the wrong place, sir. You'd think these guys would actually have heavier armor, considering they've got like full-on like helmets, breastplates, pauldrons. They're even like wearing mail underneath, it looks like. I mean, I guess they don't have the high enough armor value because they've got this giant kind of cloth area where they can get stabbed in the nuts. Right? Seems like they should have more armor, though, to be honest. Then Executioners, I'm not going to question the style choice here, but all I'll say is leaving the back of your head exposed like that seems like a pretty bad idea. Also, how are they supposed to see? I mean, those eye slits are pretty tiny. Also, could you imagine breathing in one of those things?
I will feed them to the cold ones.
Cone heads are just ridiculous, too. I don't know why High Elves... Are their heads actually shaped like that? I mean, I don't think don't think they are, but they just love the Coneheads for whatever reason. Dark Riders actually look like definitely some kind of brigands. Your faction war build. Oh, interesting. And they're off. I like the look of the Dark Riders. They look like some, like, desert raiders or something almost. I don't know. They're cool. It's just elves killing elves, though, so... Yeah, I mean, the Rangers... They've got... how much armor do they have? 15? 30? Do they actually have the same amount of armor as the Dread Spears? That seems wrong somehow. It is. Technically, they're wearing the same amount of armor, even though these guys don't even have helmets. I mean, granted, they do have these neck protectors, which look very intense. And maybe the circlet's magic. It basically acts like a helmet, but it's lighter. In which case, why don't they all wear that? Oh, Scourge Runners come forward, start to do a bit of scourging of these Silver Helms. Are we going to get a net? Oh, a net straight off the bat here on the Scourge Runners. Neglecting that Teclis has that. The Silver Helm is going to get a nice clean charge in here. Do quite a bit of damage. The Spears are in a position where they can support. Cold One Knights coming in for a charge as well. Those Silver Helms probably overstayed their welcome. Yeah, definitely need to get the heck out of dodge. It was a good attempt, though. A little bit of Winds of Magic expended there, but Teclis doesn't mind as much as other lords would. Nice engagement in the front line, though. These Rahagras Pride going straight to those Black Ark Corsairs. Rangers also charging in across the line. Dragon Princes switch here. Nice Gaze of Malice placement. Going to get a lot of damage on those Rangers, especially. Lions won't take as much, but this big, angry Lizard push here. All the Lizard Cavalry just all up in this business here. You can see the Noble's been separated from Teclis. Teclis does not want to be involved in this. He really should get the heck out of dodge. Manticore sounds like it's coming for him now, so that's really not good for Teclis. Does not want to get involved with Malekith. Yeah, Dragon Princes, Rahagras Pride pulling away, but now they're also going to get side charged. These Lizard Cav here, the Cold One Knights, will make their presence felt, but here come the Dragon Princes to try and save the day. Those Rahagras Pride taking damage very quickly. The Dragon Princes, look at this rear charge damage. Despite the armor of the Cold One Knights here, they're going to get pretty well wrecked by that. Manticore comes over to try and kind of save that engagement a little bit. Probably want to see regrowth if he's got it, though, on those Rahagras Pride before they lose too many models. Decent placement, not quite on point, but it does get a good amount of damage on the Dread Spears and Harganeth Executioners. Meanwhile, is that a... Yeah, the Dark Riders with crossbows. I think I heard an Amber Spear go off as well. Teclis still kind of involved in this fight where he's in danger, but the Cold One Knights are very quickly starting to run out of steam. It is obviously their main problem. Very low HP. They just kind of die, to be honest, a lot of the times, and that's kind of what's happening here. Malekith, though, still very healthy. He's able to shatter this unit of Silver Helms. The Rahagras Pride also been routed now at this point. Dragon Prince is starting to get a little bit surrounded, so things are looking dicey for the High Elves. This pocket is collapsing very, very quickly. I don't know how much longer Teclis can stay protected. It looks like Manticore immediately switches over and now is going after Teclis. Good play here to try and take him out. He's got Potion of Troy kind of activated prematurely there for the damage resistance, but ends up running out a little bit early, probably before he would have wanted. But Balance of Power starting to tip a little bit now in favor of the Dark Elves, as a lot of these units for the High Elves are being routed here, but they're kind of coming back in a bit of a second wave. Dragon Princes, Rahagras Pride charging in. If he can just get rid of the Manticore summons, they wait him out. I don't know, though, if Teclis is going to survive this. He gets terrified there, and you see how much Teclis counts for the balance power. As soon as he goes, this is very significantly impacted. Can he hold out, though? If he manages to come back, give himself, another Potion of Troy, maybe a regrowth. This Manticore is almost gone, but this might be the killing blow right here. He gets another big hit on Teclis. Teclis, yeah, it's going to rout there, down to only 250 HP. He shatters. I think that's a decisive blow there to the High Elves. And it's, you see just barely there the Manticore despawns. So had Teclis been able to not take that damage there at the end, maybe Golden Eagle has a good chance of coming back and actually winning this, given that the rest of his forces, he's still got some pretty healthy tools here, and the Dark Elves are getting very tattered. Those Executioners were going to be tough, and Malekith as well is basically still untouched. Yeah, that's a good game. Skin Wolves put on one shoulder pad and get counted as armor. That's true. Nothing like Lore of Manticore summoning. It's a tool in many arsenals. Like High Elves have it as well, and it's just as potent against Dark Elves as it is against High Elves. And in fact, in this type of a build, it would be probably worth taking. Golden Eagle doesn't have any source of terror, so even with Techless, you can add in, like, just even take out one of the Reavers, add in a caster with only Manticore summons. You'll have the magic, definitely, with Techless, with his Greater Arcane Conduit. A good old Gak. Gak is very strong. Killerinu takes the win there. So J Phoenix is going to be another. So maybe we'll bring in one reserve just to give Killerinu the opportunity to match Happy Puppy's win total. Got time for a couple more games here, and J Phoenix is the last one on my main list. So let me just double check in Discord if there was anyone that wanted to join reserves. Looks like we do have a few, so let me get them messaged. Da, da, da. Manticore plus ROR lines is a sad rookie. Yeah, because the leadership damage, the shock damage that they do in melee, plus the leadership effect, plus the Manticore getting a nice terror route there would be pretty good. Let me go ahead and get the map locked in. Let's switch over to El Anguille. El Anguille? I don't know. I'm bad at pronouncing other languages, for the most part. Oh, silly Ponzi elves. They are a hateful bunch. Yes, indeed. Thank you guys so much again for joining today. It's been a lot of fun. Been having a blast. We're going to keep it going, potentially one more. If Killerinu takes the win here, that will give him an opportunity to match Happy Puppy's win total. Should give him an opportunity to just beat it, but I don't know if I have that much time. I do need to get some other stuff done today. Some real-life things. Hashtag give elves death blow. No, elves are... they're too flimsy. They just die. Oh, yes, yes. Elves and their low HP. Kind of hilarious, honestly. And that's one of the main issues with Dark Elves, is they don't have any healing, and they're squishy elves. Granted, they have... like, Blackguards have the most HP of any elf infantry unit, but they don't have healing, so... you know, it's kind of a trade-off. Phoenix Guard somehow don't have immune to psychology, so that's just great. Yeah, actually, I'm gotta run some errands, you know, go to the bank and stuff, do some boring things. But I'm also trying to get set up a background so that I can stream. Like, I want to get a green screen, but also I want to get just like a regular background so I can record stuff. Have me like sitting in front of something. I have like some bookshelves that I have set up. It's nice, awfully, I say nice, it's terrible. Horrible floral print chair. Yeah, I'm getting almost like a little studio setup going. Something that I want to try and get done. Yeah, make Deathblow work for Giant Slayers. Does it? Yeah, I don't think they have an animation for it, do they? Is it just not work for them? I mean, because I don't know if there's a two-handed animation for that. I know there is for sure for the regular Slayers, but... Yes, elves are flimsy and tiny, and they get broken in half quite easily. Very squishy. I mean, all that thousands of years of training doesn't matter too much if you just get crushed by a rock, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was thinking that they didn't have animations for it. Now that I actually stop and think about it. Say I was thinking. I actually haven't thought about it until this exact moment. But when I actually now stop and think about it, yes, they don't have animations that I recall I've ever seen for it, so I don't think it does function for them. I don't know. I think it's probably a... I don't know. You could call it both, potentially. Yes. Yes. Let's see. El Angui, interesting map. Fairly asymmetric. One player does have a pretty decent wood to start in, but the other player can kind of deploy here and push up through these woods, so oftentimes you can force the engagement outside of this area. Like if you deploy on this side, you really don't have great lanes for artillery. Like you kind of have to come pretty far forward here. But Skaven versus Chaos, two factions we have not seen yet today, so I'm a fan. We'll start with Killarinu's Chaos here. He's got Big Bird, along with a Exalted Manticore, Chaos Marauders, Chaos Warriors, Horsemen, and Spawn. Spawn are going to be very good here. They blend through most Skaven stuff pretty quick, and they trade good against Rat Ogres, and even like the Hell Pit and stuff, they can trade okay because of their high weapon damage. Got on the Skaven side, Greyseer, Lore of Plague, Council Guard, Hell Pit, Assassin, Wheel of Doom. So a pretty all-in kind of death box of Skaven. Rat Ogres, lots of chaff, and some Night Runners with Gutter Runners Poison as well on the flanks. So a skirmish force. Not too much in the way of missiles. Kind of going all in with this death box. Interesting. We'll see how it turns out. I think there's a little bit of a lack of killing power in this Skaven army. Like, these Death Runners will do some okay damage, or Gutter Runners even, but they're not going to really dish it out. And, like, Big Bird, I mean, other than having to fight the Abomination, there's not a lot that can stop him. I mean, I guess maybe he does actually have to fight, like, the Seer and the Abomination at some point, but definitely has the tools to do so. He can beat the Doom Wheel, absolutely, with that Plague of Rust. And speaking of Plague of Rust, stacking that here with the Weird Spawn, probably one of the most underrated Regiments Renown in the entire game. Sunder Armor for Chaos, quite strong. It means you can take all these shielded, non-great weapon units and still have them be able to do, quote-unquote, armor-piercing damage, more or less. Yeah, there's not even any Poison Wind Mortars here, which is an interesting pick. Going to be relying a lot on these single entities do the damage, and the Wheels of Doom does have double shot, so it does more damage than the regular Doom Wheel. Also looks awesome. Probably one of the coolest looking units in the game. I say that about a lot of units, but it's true. Especially, I love the like blue glow of this one. Got a very classy color scheme. Longy. Huh. Longy. Skaven, yeah, this is an interesting matchup. Big Bird is a terror here. Basically, it's like if you can deal with Big Bird, then you're probably going to win. Kind of like Volkmar, in a way. But Chaos has some really nice tools here. I think it is often seen as Skaven favored, and I think it probably is to a degree, but I don't think it's as bad as most people think. Chaos, I think, actually has a decent matchup here. No Lore of Fire, though, which is interesting. And Lore of Fire is also pretty good here, along with Big Bird, but yeah. Big Bird himself, I mean, he's just got, what, Plague of Rust? Not even Plague of Rust, just Final Transmutation. That's an interesting play. For me, I like taking him with Plague of Rust, definitely help go after the Doom Wheels, and, you know, the hearts and everything. There are a few high armor units for the Skaven that you would want to use that on. Final Transmutation's okay, especially if you're trying to detonate a Skaven artillery piece, or like, I don't know. Mortars it will do okay damage to as well, might kill a few models there, but right now the Doom Wheel peels over to the side where there are no Chaos spawn, and as a result it's going to get some free damage on these infantry units here, especially the Marauders taking some decent damage there. Leadership's not looking great, but it's all good so far. Spawn are now following up a little bit out of position there, but yeah. Ooh, nice side shot through those Marauders right there. This Doom Wheel's gonna have to be careful though. The Weird Spawn are in a position where they can potentially catch up there, and if the Weird Spawn get a hold of the Doom Wheel, it's gonna be a bad time. That armor sundering, plus like the Manticore now diving in as well. See what they can do. The Doom Wheel is probably gonna be able to punch through these Marauders and then screen out through its own, yeah, the Manticore even gives it an extra little scoop there, screen out through its own Skaven Slaves. A Final Transmutation now being cast though. Is it overcast? Let's check in. I can't see. Nope, just a regular single cast, which is fine. But we're going to have a Warp Lightning coming down. There is a little bit of a blob situation here. No, actually, wow. That just did a ton of damage there, that dreaded 13th explosion, summoning up the Storm Vermin, but you can see immediately the spawn are in place, and the Manticore also drops down. The Manticore hero is actually getting tangled up with the Assassin. Not a great situation for him, taking a lot of Overwatch fire as well and getting consistently staggered because of it. Big Bird, though, quick terror routes in the front line. A nice Scourge there. No, that's not right. Scorch. That's right. Scorch taking out some of those Marauders in the front line. And this is not amazing, having these the regular spawn, I guess, matched up directly on the Council Guard there, but that's fine. The regular spawn are still fighting in the line here. These Marauder Horsemen kind of maneuvering in the flanks. They honestly probably should just charge, have the spawn like rear charge here, but the Doom Wheel supporting makes that a tough proposition. Going to be seeing another Final Transmutation, and it will hit all three of these single entities, at least momentarily. The Council Guard, or sorry, the one that they're guarding, the Gracier, gets pushed out, but now the Weird Spawn come in. They get some attacks, start to sunder the armor, down to 70 armor there for the Gracier. And if Big Bird and the Assassin can stay focused, they could, not the Assassin, the Exalted Hero, that's right. And now this is great too. Big Bird taking on all these physical resistance Clan Eshin units because he does magic damage and good splash attacks. Should be able to clean up there. Here come the Rat Ogres, been mostly not used up until this point. They're going to come out and start to disrupt those horsemen, keep them from chasing units off, which is great. The Exalted Manticore, unfortunately, now gets in a situation where both the Assassin and the Hell Pit can kind of gang up on him, along with the Council Guard there. Really not a great situation to be in. So yeah, good stuff for the Skaven right now. Things are looking up, definitely. Big Bird's a menace, but, you know, how much can he actually do? He does soak quite a bit of fire there without taking too much damage. And the fact that Big Bird plus all the spawn are unbreakable means they Definitely can still come back and make a push, but it doesn't look great. The spawn kind of all bum rushing in to fight the Council Guard is definitely not a great look. I almost think, I don't know. I like the armor sundering potential here, but I do think that you needed the Plague of Rust. Even Searing Doom as well could have done some nice consistent damage to the Council Guard over the course of a long game. Or even you just take, you know, 1 or 2 great weapons, can clean up. I think like regular Chaos Warriors with great weapons beat the Council Guard, I want to say. Almost. They might lose just purely based on leadership, but I'd have to test. In terms of stats, I think they'd win. But a nice charge there from the Manticore, gets down, actually does some pretty okay damage. The Plague Seer there. Killerinu definitely scrapping his best to keep the Dream alive, but at this point it's not looking great for him. Another summoned Storm Vermin is going to push the balance of power even more towards army losses, and oh, that's rough. Killerinu had forgotten a Chaos Warrior unit over here. That's real tough. They definitely could have made a pretty big difference had they been in the right place at the right time, but they're a little slow to get in there now, and that'll be it. So, I'd say that'll be it. Big Bird goes down. There's still some spawn fighting, but that is army losses. So, GG. No, it's 2 Gutters, 2 Night Runners with a Bell Seer, 3 single entities. Only 1 Rat Ogre is a little bit dangerous. Yeah, some Chariots actually for Chaos could have done a lot of work here. Like just the regular 750 Chaos Chariots, very cost effective against Skaven. Because with only 1 Rat Ogre, I mean, yeah, the Doom Wheel and the Cart too, plus the Hell Pit, they're all high mass units, but really Rat Ogre's the best for bogging down Chariots. The single models have a much harder time countering them. The Doom Wheel does have the mobility and can kind of chase them off, but I think some Chariots would have definitely been a good play here. I like this pick of the spawn too, but I might have switched 1 spawn out for a wild Chariot pick. Yeah, that's a pretty good build. The spawn here I actually really like. Big Bird too. I'm not totally in love with the spell selection he had here. I think you maybe want to go some different options. Not that Final Transmutation's bad, but it's just, I don't know. You don't want to rely on it solely, I would say. You want to have some other spells. And for me personally, like, maybe if you bring Final Transmutation as insurance against either artillery or the, you know, weapons teams, like, I get that. But also, I would probably just take Plague of Rust and Searing Doom myself only. Maybe Gehenna's Hounds as well, actually. Sometimes I do take that in this matchup, and it can do okay. I mean, not as good as against Vampire Coast, but, yeah, it's definitely solid. But regardless, GG's. That will be it for today. Killerinu stopped in his tracks by J Phoenix Skaven, so unfortunately that means we'll not have time for Way today, but we'll get him in on the next one. Probably we'll be doing another one Thursday or Friday, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, so we'll key up the music once again. Congrats to Happy Puppy, the absolute queen of the day. Some Boss Khalida play to start the stream off. If any of you guys just joining, definitely go back and check that out at the start of the stream. Thank you, Wicked. Thanks for playing. It was a good time for sure. I'm gonna go run some errands, and I might be back later this afternoon, maybe in like 3 hours, 4 hours. Yeah, we'll see. I may stream some Crusader Kings later today if I have time, so we'll potentially see you then. GG's. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Big thanks to Tamaten again for the very generous donation, and of course, Major Moolah as well. You guys definitely help keep the lights on here. Keep the internet bill paid. So thanks, guys. We will catch you later. Bye-bye now.